Wow. Oh my god. Thank you so much for the raid. Oh my god. When will Stream Elements ever take my new title? He needs like 10 minutes of prep time. My browser froze? Oh no, it didn't. It didn't. Okay, let me post that we're live where I need to post about it. Here we go, guys. I'm tweeting. I've posted my tweet. I'm posting in the Discord. I'm changing the title. Title changed. Okay, I'm gonna go refill my water. I'll be back. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Note J407.
All right, I am back. I have a snack. And we are chilling. I don't think I could change it midstream, so I'm going to try it on Sunday. Today, I mentioned this yesterday. Today, the ads are scheduled the way they were, which is every 10 minutes there's a little 30-second ad. I tried to, like, that's the only way I could do 30-second ads and keep them as short as possible if I do it every 10. On Sunday, I'm going to change it. And I'm going to try doing, because that's 3 minutes total, if there's 30 seconds every 10. So on Sunday, I'm going to do at the beginning of every hour, it does all of the ads at once. And we're going to go to a full commercial break. And I'm going to get up for a couple minutes. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to refill my water, whatever. And I'll just put on like a video or something, or clips or whatever, that you can sit here and watch if you're subscribed. So that's your commercial break. And if you're not subscribed, then they're just ads, but you know you're not missing anything. That's how I'm going to try it. And I'll probably try it for the week and see how we feel. See how I feel as well, right? Let me just send one message and then we're chilling. But yeah, I'm gonna do that starting Sunday. We do need Giga themed ads, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put out an official bounty. I'm gonna put out an official bounty. If people want to make Adult Swim style bumpers for the stream and put them in offerings, if it's good and we end up actually using it during a commercial break, like it's good enough that I will use it, then you will get extra points for that. There's a bounty for this month. I specifically want Adult Swim style bumpers. Please make them. Don't make them cringe, make them good. All right? Yeah, if people need artists, Tupi, I know Fish as well are usually people who are willing to do whatever. If you have an idea but you're not good at making it, go into the Discord and discuss making it, but we're going to put a bounty out on that for this month. One sec, I'm just writing a thing. Someone asked me to just explain a thing, and I have to type an explanation so they understand something, which you always know. I'm trying to not essay, but God, sometimes I have to. I like this track. What song is this? Tokyo Bounce from Macross. Hold on. Okay. There we go. There we go. So I just needed to go through and make sure that I answered a very important question somebody had. Actually answered two. People always send me really important questions that they need answered ASAP, literally the moment I start stream. I don't know how they do it, but they have this crazy spidey sense. It's insane, man. It's insane. I legitimately, I do not understand how they do it every time without fail. I even started trying to, like, I've been trying to get myself out of starting soon faster, but there have been some days where we're still 10-15 minutes because I have to answer a question. But I'm here. I'm here. Welcome on in, everybody. You're listening to 500 billion.3 FM, Gig FM. I don't know. We have a new game today. I'm so excited for. So we're gonna get to that in a bit. We're gonna get to that later. I was playing Potionomics yesterday. Yet again. I have a question. Is this game a singular run that you do, or does it become endless mode once you get to the end? I realized with the format of the game, it might actually not go endless mode, and I went, oh no. I don't know. I don't know how it works, man. I don't know. Masterwork added endless mode. Okay, it seemed like it was like a singular run. It seemed as if it were a singular run, and I said, oh. Oh. So, yeah. How is it after the patch? It's good. It's good. The only issue is I've been playing it on Switch. I got the Switch edition. I've been having an issue where sometimes the cursor gets stuck. Now on PC, that's fine, because if you're using a controller and the cursor gets stuck, you can just wiggle the mouse and it unsticks. However, if you're using Switch, you can't do that. So there have been times where I've had to close the game and go back to my last save because the cursor gets stuck and there's no menu you can open or thing you can do to get it to stop. It is just hard stuck. It is not super often, but it's happened like maybe around 2 times it's happened. So, oof. That's the only thing though. However, everything else has been really good. Really good. The gameplay is just fun. It's the first dating sim you've enjoyed. I have not delved into that part of it at all. I've just been making friends with everyone. I am not into any of the characters like that, if I'm being honest. I don't like any of them like that. So instead, I'm just becoming best friends with the 2 cats. That's my angle on it. I don't know. Something about I cannot get into characters that have a sort of almost Disney or Pixar style to them. I can never ever find it attractive. Something about it just doesn't work for me. I think it has a really cool, distinct style, and I like it for animation. So as the characters in that game, I think it suits them really well. I love it. But I cannot, I don't know. I cannot see them that way. I just can't do it. It doesn't do it for me. I don't know. Someone will look at a Pixar character and be like, she's so hot. And I'm like, she looks weird, actually. I don't know. I can't do it, man. I'll say that about Mrs. Incredible. But her face looks like... Here's the thing. They're just looking at her ass. Or her hips, or both. But if you look at her face, okay? And you cut out everything else about this character. Let's zoom in here. Wow, she's so hot. She really gets me going. I'm sorry, there's nothing like that here. Okay? Is she horrifically ugly? No. But this is not a conventionally super attractive character. She's got a weird face because all of the characters in the movie have a weird face because it's simply the style they went with, right? You know, even with longer hair, she would look odd. She doesn't even have eyebrows. You know, it is what it is. So when you see people freaking out and being like, Mrs. Incredible is so hot, they are literally, they are cutting her head off in their mind, okay? They have put a paper bag over her head. You know, which is fine too, but let's just figure out what we're talking about, right? What the context is here. Now, if that's what you like, that's what you like. Nothing wrong with that, but you know, that's like a lights off moment, right? It's because she's flexible. When has that really mattered? I'm gonna be honest. Dudes will be like, oh man, if she's flexible, that will be so crazy. And then at the end of the day, they'll be like, I like to lay down. That's it. I like to lay down. That's gonna be, you know, most people. So then they'll be like, I like a girl who's flexible, and if they try to touch their toes, they fall over. What the hell are you gonna do? You know, like what? I think that shit's so funny. What does that mean? What does that even mean? I don't know, man. But I saw it in a video on the internet. I know. It's not, they'll learn, okay? They'll learn eventually, is all I have to say to that. They'll find out one day. We just have to hope and pray for them. I mean, a donut right now is so good. Holy shit. Yeah, look at that new emote, guys. Look at that. We have, over on the alt channel, on the Not Giga channel, proud to announce we have new emotes. Look at that. We have Gaga. Drew that myself. We have Giga Paper. We have Fripp. We got Fripp. Show them the raid emote.
Gay Liga Sweep.
For anyone who wasn't there. Show them the raid emote. We got nuh-uh. Yeah, we got the raid emote. We got nuh-uh.
Dear Ms. General, maybe Dr. Giga.
Yeah.
We thank you for your streaming service, Giga Pray.
Dr. Allegedly. I will not confirm nor deny. Yeah, the raid emote is it's got to be one of my favorites. I think Fripp is really good. You can put it on either side of, if you put a Not Giga Fat in the middle. Oh, it looks so right. It looks so right. Maybe I'll reverse it and we'll do like Fripp R and Fripp L. You like the 07? I really love the 07. So they're fire because they really stand out in other chats. I know. I like them so much. I like them so much. They're very distinct. And you can only get those on the Non-Giga channel. There's also a new sub badge over there too. So if you're subbed, there's an official badge for the chat. It's lovely. It's wonderful. Giga has a PhD in yapology. I'm gonna be honest, most PhDs are so useless, and then there are a few that are so incredibly necessary for certain jobs. I feel so bad because there are people who want to do a certain job, and then they find out somewhere in the middle of doing college that they have to go to more school forever just to do the job they want. And they go, oh, when they realize they're in for a long ride. And that's very sad. Data science better have a PhD? Not, well, depends on who you work for, but not at all, actually. I mean, if you're talking about real data science, yeah. Real data science, yeah. There are some very real parts of that field where you don't need a PhD at all, but you have to have an insane portfolio, and you have to have done the same things that you would do if you had a PhD in it. Yeah, you can't do the I'm gonna become an analyst route and then become chief data scientist for a, you know. There's always the academical equivalent. Yeah, I will say, if you're going to something like that, very unlikely you're going to learn those things without going through a course like that. Does it happen? Yes. Is it likely you're going to get hired over someone else? No. No, they're going to pick the guy with the piece of paper. Unfortunately. And, you know, most people that actually need a real quote-unquote data scientist, it's probably the government or some sort of agency or company that is enormous. So, you know, there aren't many jobs for that anyway. They're going to pick and choose. How many PhD until VTuber career? Depends on the VTuber. There's some VTubers that have never gone to school beyond high school. They just went straight into streaming. There are some VTubers that have put PhDs fully. There are some VTubers that have held no career. They got out of college and started streaming and went, all right, fuck it. There's some that have had full careers and did it, you know? It is what it is. It's almost like they're a sample of the population. Nami? Sorry if it's rude to ask this, how much did it cost to make your VTuber model? This one, the art was, I don't remember how much, it was somewhere between 4 and 6K. And it was actually cheaper for me because of me knowing the artist really well. And then the rigging was similar. I don't remember the number. But also, I don't have a billion toggles and extra things drawn, so that probably most heavily changes the price, is how many extra buttons you have, because that has to be drawn and rigged separately. So if you go for extra stuff, it ups the price. It ends up doubling usually. Oh, hi, Sayu. I was gonna say, yeah, you have a lot of toggles and things, don't you? Or like buttons you press. I really don't. But also I was the first client ever for my artist. She had never made a VTuber before. So she really wanted to like take her time with it and said, "Hey, I'm going to not charge too much because I'm worried that the quality might be a little off. They're going to be back and forth, so I'm going to slow you down, etc., etc." And I said, "Hey, I'll just pay whatever your price is. Don't worry about it." And she was like, "No." No. This is the first one I'm ever making. And I was like, okay. And then it does not feel like the first one she ever made, if I'm being honest. She did a great job. But she, you know, I picked her because I love her art the most. The most. All the buttons. Yeah, so many buttons. So many. Do you have to sit perfectly straight to be tracked by a model? You have to keep your head at a somewhat similar height. If I like slouch a lot, I might end up like this, but yeah. It's good. It kind of keeps you sitting up straight a little bit, but you have some room to move around. You do. You do indeed. For sure. Prices range from like 0 to like 30,000.
Glop, glop,
yeah, exactly.
shaky, glop, blush.
Thank you for the 23 months. Yoshi, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Said, feel like having no experience of work before full-time VTubing is a disadvantage. Not VTubing, streaming. Anyone who gets thrown into a unique social environment that is not like most real environments without experiencing, you know, that first, will have a harder time because this will become their reality. This will be all they know of adult life, which is not good. I think you don't develop a lot of maturity being in this space unless you already developed it. So, you know, when someone's like, I don't get why this streamer who's in his 30s acts like a child. I'm like, he got out of high school and immediately started streaming and never worked in a normal environment ever. He didn't have the chance to develop that. If anything, it was negatively developed because of the feedback he got from people via the internet. And now he ended up like this. It's, dare I say, almost not that person's fault. It is, but it isn't in my mind, because, you know, how would they know better? Literally, how? That's my thought on that. That's my thought on that. I'm not like other environments. Yeah, man. Bro never got fact-checked by life. Exactly. I think having like something like streaming, something along the lines of modeling. Actually, no, modeling I think can be good because of you having to manage appointments and meet very different people. Maybe, yeah, really just streaming anything that is internet based and you don't go into a physical workplace. You don't have to, you have the option to not talk to people at any point in time. You don't have to deal with difficult people if you don't want to. All of this kind of stuff. I don't know. I just feel like you end up very narrow-minded and not developing anything else. Can you get out of that? Absolutely. You can make sure that your life outside of streaming is well-rounded, but that just depends on the person, right? Some people don't know what they don't know, and they think this is fine, right? Is there a good ending to a VTuber, like a long-term plan for your 40s? You're acting like 40s-year-old. Most people die closer to their 70s, so long-term plan is a bit more than that. I think VTubing has the potential to go farther in someone's life than streaming with a face cam, because no one will see you age. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it means that some people will grow out of it and decide, I don't like this anime character anymore. I don't know. Yeah, and what Gigi said, the audience is aging with creators. It's very true. A lot of people said, oh, you know, the viewer base of streamers are all in their 20s, so they're never going to watch 30-year-olds. And then that viewer base that was in their 20s got into their 30s, and guess what? They still watch streamers. So, you know, and their tastes aligned with the streamers that got older. So a lot of those streamers are still going. And they always said, you know, the average age of content creator is like a 3 to 5 year career, but I see it going a lot further for a lot of people as the viewer base ages. Kind of the way PC gaming trends a certain way in age, and the way it has over time. Same thing with watching streamers. I think they're parallel. For sure. For sure. Totoro, thank you for the 27 months. Thank you. Thank you. Stats. Suppose there's a lot of freedom in streaming, so you don't have to learn disciplines you would in an office. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Though some people do learn this. Some people learn a lot through this and mature a lot through this, because you have to do a lot of stuff yourself. So if they're a go-getter and they call up someone to do merch, they're an indie and they called someone up and said, I want to do merch. How does this work? And they sit there and some company that does merch partnerships goes, okay, let's sit down, let's work on this. Now they're sitting in a boardroom, you know, and they're like, oh, and they're working on their first merch line. These sorts of things, getting sponsorships as well. Sometimes you talk straight to them, etc. Some streamers will develop a lot of maturity through that if they didn't get it elsewhere. It really depends on the person. It really does. Yeah. First time chatter. To be fair, some work environments do not help people mature even in this current age. Fully agreed. Fully agreed. 100%. I just think this environment is one where it's easier to run away from something. So if you mess up, you can hide that a lot better. You don't get fired. Even if you get canceled, you can still make it through that a lot of the time. Whereas in another job, you do something terrible, boom, fired. Boom, fired. So I think, you know, that's one part of it for sure. That, you know, you can kind of hide from consequence a bit more here, which is very interesting. I think that's probably the biggest part of people not developing maturity a lot of the time. Imagine having no real consequences, right? For sure.
Greg.
Moogie, thank you for the tier 3 for 30 months. Thank you. Thank you. You said it feels like an appealing retirement job, assuming you enjoy the activity of streaming. Yeah, I think it would be nice for... I think things look good for, like, let me think. For the millennial generation, for even Gen X, for Zoomers, for their older years. Because they're going to use the internet to keep in contact with people, tell people how they're doing, be able to access resources, know what's going on in the world. Whereas current old people are a lot more disconnected and only know what they see on TV for the most part. There are parts of that are bad, you know, the world going that way, that are not good. But I think overall for the older population, it means that they'll be more present. They also might retreat into their old people parts of the internet, like current older people being, you know, the only ones still using Facebook, right? There's that. But I think, yeah, the lack of isolation, right? Having gaming and all of that will be nice. I think that'll be really good. It'll be cool. You said you started watching streamers a bit over a year ago. You're 40 plus. Yeah, exactly. Started streaming a few months ago and hoping. I think it's... If you're doing it just for hobby, you got 2 people watching you, doesn't fucking matter. It's really nice to do. It's fun. It's fun. I like it. At some point, there will be more content creators than consumers. No. I don't think that's the case. Maybe people having created something having posted something. Yes, everyone's posted something. But someone who is a content creator who is either making money off of it or is doing it to the extent where it replaces real life work, quote unquote, no. No, because there are only just so many people. The demand is not there. That'll never happen. Will a lot of people try? Yeah, everyone tries their hand at some point. A fuck ton of people that watch streamers, I feel like a really big percentage of them have tried it for sure, but very few stick to it because they realize very quickly how uphill of a battle it is. It is an 89-degree rock face in front of you that you have to climb. Right? It is near impossible. Imagine it's that plus there's someone up top pouring hot oil down. That's it. Most people get up to that, look at it, and place their hand against it and go, okay, I'm done. I'm out. No, I mean, it's not the way. That's not the way. Content creation is a really tough career. It is really tough. I think there are ways in which it's easier than a quote-unquote real job, and there are other ways in which it's harder. I always see streamers, like, ragging on each other. Some person will be like, oh, this career is the hardest. Being a content creator is really hard. And then someone else will go, it's not that hard, dude. I'll just sit here and play video games. What the fuck are you talking about? And people are like, yeah, or they're jeering at both sides. I think both are true, and it depends on the person. It depends on the person. There are people like Sushi Dragon who have to do triple backflips on stream every fucking day to get, you know, a scrap of people supporting. And then there are people that have been streaming for 10 years and were a Let's Player, and it doesn't matter what they do. They can sit there on stream, press the button, play a video game, do absolutely nothing to try to be entertaining, and people will still watch and pay. So everyone's, you know, your mileage may vary. Everyone's experience is different. Yeah, tunnel vision arguments. Exactly. Look at VTubers. They set up all this tech. They do all this stuff. They create an entire brand, and then there are people that will stream the exact same thing, but with none of that, and they just press go live and they go. Obviously, it's going to be easier for one, right? Very different for different people. Depends if you're on the grind set or comfortably retaining an existing audience. You can't even comfortably retain an existing audience, though. You can for like a seed group of people, but people come and go. And you will only, if you only cater to your existing base, you will always leak out people over time. Not because they don't like you, but because they get out of the habit of watching streams. At some point. Something else entertaining comes up, they start doing that. Oh, I picked up a hobby and now every day at 4 p.m. I go to the gym. Now they're not watching your stream every day at 4 p.m. Boom, done, right? It's always things like that. So, you know, what can you do? What can you do? So it's always a little bit of the mindset, a little bit, to get people kind of coming back in, because there's a portion of people where they'll always kind of be on a revolving door. For sure. Hard because it uses a completely different mindset, creative computer work versus traditional work. And there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes as a streamer that you have to do that is completely traditional work, and people seem to think that the stream part of it is the majority of it, but the majority of the quote-unquote work you do ends up being stuff off stream. So, especially if you run a YouTube channel, you run anything other than just your Twitch channel, where you have anything, any type of brand, you have merchandise, anything at all, it generates a lot of work to be done. Even if you have other people handling it for you, you have to have meetings with them and direct them and get asked a million questions and retain all this information. And, you know, the mental load is pretty high. It ends up being like a manager position of your own stuff, but with no boss above you. No one for guidance. You just have to manage everything yourself. Boom. So, you know, it can be rough. It can be rough. Your mom asked you to describe content creation and monetization to her, and she was completely caught off guard by how much strategizing can be involved. It's all strategy, yeah, and I think that's the big difference between some people that kind of make it and stagnate somewhere, and then the people that do really well. Those that do really well, either number one, got lucky, or two, a really understood strategy, which is not that many people, but really, really get it. If they just want to grow, there are some people who can snap their fingers, come up with a plan, and grow, because, you know, they're good at that. They're good at that. The only people that can chill are the people that are top 3 in a popular category already and can let the algo carry them to their 5th Lambo. Yeah. Yeah, top 5 just chatting streamers, top 3 in a game. So long as that game keeps existing and has viewers, those same 3 people will soak up all of them. Right? Let me go right now to Twitch. I'll find a perfect example. Twitch.tv. Apex Legends category. Top streamer right now, his Watson. Pro player, 5.6k viewers. Anytime this dude plays Apex and there's anything going on in Apex, people will go to him. Second one down, a VTuber I know actually, Dito. 1.8k viewers. She plays a fuck ton of Apex, FPS streamer. People, when something new happens in Apex and they like VTubers, they will rush to her every time. 1.3k Fade, 769 Alliance member. And then when you start going down here, you get to the third row and we're already at like 400 to 300 viewers. And you get down to people where it's like, you know, that's kind of enough to make a living. But when nothing's going on in Apex, they're probably not going to have that many people showing up because the category is not really there. So most people are getting soaked up by the top couple of people. Yeah, it's a steep cliff. Exactly. Exactly. So what happens is, those people, really the only one here who can chill is his Watson, who's the number 1 in the category. He can sit there and no matter what goes on, if he plays an FPS, people will be like, oh fuck, pro player playing FPS, and they'll show up. He doesn't have to try. He just has to keep practicing his gameplay and trying at that, but at streaming itself, he doesn't have to try super hard to, you know, be entertaining or anything like that. Not at all. Not at all. And that's just how it is, man. That's just how it has gone. That's how it's been. And it's rough because anyone who's in that like second or third shelf of people, it is what it is. If you go to just chatting, number 1 right now is Kai. He's doing the Mafiathon. He's on day 7. A fuck ton of people are going to come to the site and just go straight to Kai. Then you've got 2 people right after that doing election coverage. You know, a fuck ton of people are going to be like, oh, new thing happening. Boom. And they just click on that. The people that want to avoid it, you get to like the second and third shelf. Some of the really big international channels, non-English channels. There's actually, yeah, second and third are mostly non-English. So if you're looking for people that are streaming in English, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th down, 21k viewers, is an IRL streamer. Then it's all international for the most part. There's Ginny doing an IRL stream. There's Zen and Numi. As you keep going down, Foolish. It's a couple people, but like the drop off is the first row of people all have above 30k viewers. Second row of people above 15k. It starts to have between like the 5th and 10th. And each time you go down a row of channels, it's like halving for the most part. So people are going to land on the site and they're just going to go to that. They're all going to get soaked up by the top people doing like an exciting thing. So that's just kind of how it goes, man. It's just kind of how it goes. And if you are not in that top 5 of a category that's this big, or a smaller category, you're not the top 2, you have to try super hard to get people to like look down slightly. Right? You do. So people will say, they'll be like, oh, you know, they watch a stream of someone who's in that top row and they go, wow, this person can just sit here and do whatever and they can make it and it looks so easy. And that person can even be like, yeah, my life is so easy because I just hit go live and everyone will be here. But everyone on that like 3rd, 4th row down is like, I have to do a triple backflip for someone to click, you know? So I think content creation can still be really, really hard. It just depends on where you're at, right? That's it. You're not a fan of the what's the next big game mentality some people have? Keeps them from trying things because it's fun? Yeah, like I'll play some new stuff that comes out because it's up my alley, but if a new thing comes out and it's not my cup of tea, I don't even try it. Right? I told you guys how much I hated Silent Hill 2 the first time. I was not interested in the new one. So many people said, I would love, they came into chat and said, I would love if you played Silent Hill 2. Would love to know your opinion. I said, no. Number one, I never play shit like that on stream. It doesn't fit what I normally do. Number two, I'm not going to like it. I don't like Silent Hill, right? That was just it. And I think there's nothing wrong with playing the new stuff. Some people, that is their content. People go to them for gaming opinions, and they expect them to play new stuff. And that's the basis. They're more of like a reviewer than just a gamer, right? And that's fine. But, you know, there's an extent where I'm like, yeah, it's a lot for some people. It's too much for me. And yeah, I hate buying that many games. It feels wasteful if I'm not finishing them. I can't. You know what Byte said? If you put viewer count into a histogram, it's a long tail distribution with like 80% of streamers making up an average CCV of less than 100. Yeah. It's just the top few people that soak up everyone, basically. So people will be like, I hate it. I see some people compare streamers. They'll see someone at 500. They'll see someone at 1K. They'll see someone at 1.5. And they'll sit there and compare them and go, oh, the one at 500 is so low. Oh, we're not doing so hot, or whatever the fuck, right? People will say shit like that. That person's in such a high percentile. They've already won, man. It's okay. It really, you know, it's the difference between I can live off of this and I can get a Lambo at that 20K, right? Obviously, there's a big difference in wealth. That person is not making enough where they could quit any day and live off of it. But they're doing great. They're doing great in that they can make this work for them. Vast majority of people could never even consider doing it full time. Some of them still, yeah, around there, they might still be kind of almost living paycheck to paycheck, yes. But they can do it instead of living paycheck to paycheck on a different job. And that's the difference, right? But most people will be, you know, at a level where they can't. So I think if they're around there, they're doing really excellently, wonderfully well, right? That's pretty much every creative industry. Yeah. It's exactly the same for anything creative. It's true. It's because there's such high
gifted a tier 1 sub to
supply of people.
7. They have given 40 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you. When there's such a high supply of people trying to do said thing because they're so passionate about it or whatever, yeah. It gets crazy. Is having infinite viewers the ultimate goal? I think many streamers are okay with chat not moving like crazy. Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. I've always said, while more is more and more is good, more is great, my goal is to make sure that I'm focusing on community health. Health being the word. Growth is great, but health is most important to me. And I'd rather growth be really slow and up and down, but healthy, than for it to always be going up, but be out of my control and not have the health that I want it to have. Because that's really easy for that shit to happen.
Nimbus 6 gifted a tier 1 sub to Trollvic.
Nimbus, thank you for gifting 2 subs. Thank you for the 2 this time. Community health is like 80% of the reason why you're there. Yeah. It's one of those things that's very hard to explain to some people. I think a lot of like my creator friends, they get really in their head about numbers, and they there's a good number of them that have a healthy relationship with it, but they focus on growth being measured by 2 metrics that are very standard and don't actually give you any info. And I tell them, no. Here are some things you should look at that are indicators if things are going well. And at the end of the day, the biggest indicator is, do I show up to stream and enjoy being here and talking to who I'm talking to? Do I get to talk about what I want to talk about and not have people react negatively? I can talk about it and feel like this is fine.
Killad gifted a tier 1 sub to Nafrim.
Thank you for gifting 3 subs, exactly. Thank you, and Koba. Thank you for the fresh sub.
Killad gifted a tier 1 sub to Sorrow Again.
I appreciate that very much. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's hard to explain to people, but there are things that are more important. There are things that are way more important. For me, I really like what we've got right now. Did a little, how do I say it? Did a little cycling this year. Some people got composted, is how I'll say it. Okay. Some people got composted. revolving door. Some people stuck around. Some new people who came by early in the year stuck around. And we've done a really good, you know, when you turn the compost heap, you know, you expose the good stuff to the top. And we've kind of done that in the community, and it's really nice. And it's really, you know, the effects have been very good. Very good. I think community health is at an all-time high. And it's all back-end stuff that will be hard to show in any way, but, you know, we can see it, and it's, I don't know, it's just much healthier. It's much healthier. Yeah, thriving ecosystem. That's the thing, is it's its own ecosystem, right? Not dependent on anything, which is the most important thing. Most important thing. So I know some choices I made this year were maybe a little extreme, but it really turned out well. In my opinion. Some Pikmin didn't make it, yeah. Exactly. Which stat do you check on your stream page to measure community? You can't. You don't. There's no individual stat for it. It's a lot of different things aggregated. And it's not all on Twitch. It's not all on Twitch at all. I will say, one of the ones that is a hard stat that you could check on your own stuff is how many individual subscribers you have. How many unique people you have who pay their own subs, not who have gifted subs.
Blue_J22
That's one that helps.
gifted a tier 1 sub to Earm Dead
Blue
Dude.
Jay, thank you for gifting exactly 4 subs. Are you all just one-upping each other? I don't know if I like this. Blue Jay, thank you for 4.
Blue_J22
Is he gonna read all of
gifted a
them?
tier 1 sub.
I'm shutting him up. There you go. But thank you. Thank you. A feeling of when stream goes live and everyone pours in is happy to be there. Yes. Yes. That's a big one. The overall vibe, seeing that more and more people in the community know each other, seeing that people hang out with each other, seeing activity in the Discord and in certain like spaces on Twitter, seeing more insular community memes and things be parroted elsewhere, seeing more people returning to the same YouTube channel, stuff like that. But one of the biggest ones, if you're just looking for one stat, like you asked earlier, number of individual subscribers, individual people doing their own subs is a huge indicator, right, of how many people have decided to kind of plunk a chair down and stay there for at least a bit. That is big. That is big.
GEEGA cheer.
And like I said the other day, because someone was asking, I have more individual subscribers now than I've ever had before. And that's unique people. That's unique people. That's just this channel, right? It's just more people individually paying for their own sub, deciding to sit here, deciding to use the Discord, stuff like that, deciding to be active in some kind of way, giving offerings, chatting often, being in VC, all of that. Yeah, interacting, right. It's just always gotten to be more and more over the past year, which is great. That's what I wanted. I wanted like community health to be the focus. And it's been a good year for that. 100%. 100%. You recognize people now in other channels, say hi to them too. Yeah, exactly. I've been seeing so much more of that, which is like, I mean, that's all I can ask for. That's what I want, right? That's what I want. You've made some of the best friends you ever had because of this community? Yeah. And I did, you know, this was a long while back, but at some point I legitimately did a huge purge. And I felt really bad doing it. But I had to do a purge at one point of a bunch of folks that I just felt were altering the vibe in a way that I couldn't allow to continue. Had to do it. Did that, changed up what we were doing day to day, changed up just a lot of things since then. And it's so much better. It wasn't even bad before, it just wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. Right? How hard would it be to have community nights between streamer discords? Not hard. I think maybe it's a little hard to onboard people to two different communities
gifted a tier 1
sometimes.
sub to Piperkin. They have
Nimbus,
given
thank you.
43 gift subs in the channel.
I think if we posted in someone else's Discord and said, "Oh, in the GEEGA Discord, we're gonna do a movie night, and we want you all to come," and then we tried to post in there to get them to hop over. Maybe if you did a direct channel link to it to join BC as well, that could work. I don't think that would be that hard, but people would have to join the server, and a lot of people are just, they don't want their server list to get longer, right? Especially if they don't have Nitro and they have that 100 limit. Some of them just don't want to do it. Not at all. Sakura said, "I'm not just the whole guy anymore." Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're on the up and up now. It's all coming up Millhouse, man. He said, "One thing that helps me find streams is that Twitch has the game tabs. Honestly, it's one of the biggest reasons why I made an account. Found two people playing an indie game I liked 7 years ago. Feels nice to find a common thing in a large group of people." Yeah, I think that's why Twitch has always done well and has always done better than other streaming platforms, because they are really good at getting people to come together through the common interest kind of thing. And while Twitch's discovery isn't my favorite, and the algo is ultra simple at the end of the day, where it just recommends you more streamers that watch or play the same thing you watched previously, I think there's a lot of good in that, because then you build up community. Someone watches one Apex streamer, they like Apex. Okay, let's give them more Apex streamers. Now they Spider-Man point at someone else that they saw in another chat and go, "Oh, I saw this person earlier in this other chat. I see you too like watching Apex. Ooh." And just from there, that builds community beyond the streamers themselves, usually game oriented. But you know, the ultra simple algo of Twitch lets communities build around categories and games a lot better. Other streamers will find each other. They'll go, "You know, every time I open this category that I stream in, I see this other guy that always streams there. I'm gonna hit him up. Would you like to play said game together?" Etc. Right? And that does a huge service for community building. So it's pretty damn good, man. It's pretty damn good. He said, "I'm like the only person who probably found you through recommendations." No, a ton have, Bite. Actually, a ton have. It's a huge number nowadays. When I was first growing, maybe not, but nowadays, yeah. Oh, new NFBs just got rolled, by the way. Some new NFBs. I'll show you like 2 of them. Some people just rolled them. They are now the proud owners. These NFBs have now been taken. Here, NFB number 1 that has been rolled for and is now owned. This message, this banger. This is the stream I can show my wife and her not ask for a divorce. Yep. Congratulations to the proud owner of this one. Oh, we have another one. I'll show you just the two. There were 4 rolled for today. 4 rolled for. Another one right here. It is Librarian said this one. Librarian being the kind of chatter he is. All right. Let's go, Librarian. That has been rolled for as well. Congratulations to the owner. Congrats. You said, which is hilarious, because this is also the stream you can show to your wife and not have her ask for a divorce. Great to hear. That's the vibe we go for. That is absolutely the vibe we go for. Yep. We're librarian guys. Of course, our posts is good enough to end up on the digital fridge. That's what I'm saying. Yep. Your wife. Yeah, I know. Look, it's so hard to show people some VTubers. Genuinely, a lot of them, their content is still good. Okay, they are still entertaining. But when you try to show someone, they go, "Oh, what streamer do you like watching?" And you say, "Here's the anime woman I watch." Sometimes that first image is just not... You just can't show anybody. Okay? You just can't. You just can't. They stand up there and their tits are the size of, 3 times their torso. And it's so hard to show that to someone else and be like, I am watching this because I enjoy this person. Now, do I know as a VTuber that that's very true in a lot of cases? Yes, of course. Of course. But someone who doesn't know anything will look at that and be like, what?
They have given
right?
44 gift subs in the channel.
Nimbus, thank you for gifting Hackor a sub. It's so hard to explain it to people. And I'll be like, no, she's really funny, but how do you explain this to someone who hasn't seen a lot of VTubers and it hasn't been exposed to it to the extent where they understand that that's just not that much of a part of it for a lot of people, right? It's so fucking hard, man. It's tough. I don't know. They just don't get it. My partner walked in while you were in Mother Farm and he doesn't watch VTubers much? Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. That's a rough one. That's a rough one. I said, honestly, you want video list clips to show people sometimes, never sure what would work. Yeah, a lot of VTubers, their content is still very visually oriented in some way, where if you just hear them speak and you can't see them, there's something missing. I don't know. The average VTuber clippers definitely have preferences too. Oh, I can't stand it. It's gotten a little better over time, but it's not that the clippers got better with that over time. It's just that more people developed their own clipping channels that tend to not lean so insane. Some of them still do, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad as it used to be. If I go and I search VTuber on YouTube, yeah. It's, you know what I keep seeing? It's not just the crazy thumbnails that are like super sus, that are, focused on that. That's a big part of it still. But a lot of the stuff that you find if you simply search for VTubers are drama channels. Because there are a lot of creators where, unfortunately, no one will watch their content that isn't drama, so they just get into the habit of becoming a drama channel. And that's all they do. And those videos get lots of clicks because they sound crazy in the title thumbnail, right? And every community has a lot of drama channels. Every community. It's also, I think, a really easy style of content to make because something happens every day and you can always talk about a social situation like it's way worse than it is. You can always point out certain things harder than other things to make it look worse. People do it all the time. And when you leave out all the good stuff, then people get that impression that that's what the thing is all about, right? So that stuff kind of just takes over a lot of it, and they make the whole community look bad because then when people are just looking for videos about VTubers, that's a lot of what they find instead of people talking about good stuff or actual VTuber content where it's just someone making VTuber content, right? I will say I do see a lot of covers if I just search for VTuber. A lot of covers get shown, which is nice. A lot of the music. And I think that's a very good thing. A very good thing. People also tend to focus really hard on if someone on stream like accidentally says something that's personal info or accidentally shows something that's personal info. Those clips tend to get like minimum 500k views because people are very obsessed with that, which is terrible. Terrible, but it's a huge thing. Kyla, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Are you also trying to one up now? Are you continuing the count? Yeah. The VTuber clipper situation is crazy. Oh my god, I should make a video like that. It sounds like a moist critical video. Make a dramatic video about dramatic channels and then never again. Oh, that'd be funny. That would be funny. Yeah, at the end of the day, I just feel like it's a lot. It's a lot. I think recently, however, though, this issue has been lessened. It's been lessened. It used to be worse. And I think at this point, a good number of those channels that focus on this stuff, people have kind of realized that it's very cesspool-y, and they've kind of left. And those views still look good because they get a lot of clicks, but the watch time and the people really paying attention to it, like, you know, people coming back and wanting to comment to be parts of those communities, that's gone down, which has been really good. um but you know, people still click, right? They'll still click. You're making a 4-hour video essay on VTuber clipper plagiarism and drama. Oh, you should do it. Oh yeah, dramatic video where I never get to the topics. Oh, that'd be good. I don't know. People love that kind of sensationalized stuff though, because even the news, like TV news, is still like that. You go to the news and they focus on some breaking story that's really not a big deal, and it's crazy. Ooh, there's so much violence in this area because I saw 2 stories about some guy being stabbed, when realistically in that area crime is on the down low. It's been going down for years, right? Like it's just always been like that. So this is not a unique to YouTube thing. This is a wider phenomenon that's just always happened, right? I feel like this is not anything where you can go, man, VTuber drama is so annoying. It's just all of it, right? Yeah, new clickbait. I think it's clickbait evolved. People figured out what clickbait works best, and then they just said, okay, well, we're just gonna do that because clicks equal money. Clicks equal money. Always. Always. You said you don't like the news people are talking about what somebody said on Twitter. Yeah. We won't get too much into it because it starts to delve into conversations that we don't have on this channel very much. But yeah, there is a lot of that. There's a lot of that. And I think at the end of the day, isn't this just a natural life cycle? Thing happens, it's self-made content. Thing grows bigger, more variety in it. Thing grows really big. Now there are large pockets of people that go to some sort of extreme. So let's say it's like people going to drama channels or something like that, blah, blah, blah. And eventually those things will then overflow where they get to be too much and people start to disbelieve in them or focus away from them, etc. I feel like it's a circle of life kind of thing. And I feel like we're getting to that point of a bit of turnover, right? Where some of these channels that were ultra dramatic, people would watch on YouTube, some of the biggest ones that have been around for forever, and they would be like, man, I can't believe all this drama is happening all the time. But I feel like nowadays people are very aware. They go, that's a drama channel and it probably wasn't that serious. And they click for curiosity to see what they're talking about. But a lot of the comments nowadays are people going, I kind of get what they were saying though. It's very like neutral, the comments. There are obviously people with a lot of vitriol, but you see a lot of a mix now. And people have kind of gotten, very, very, we'll just say neutralized, right? I think it's a bit better now. It's a bit better now. A friend with a PL and the clippers who clip them just for the drama is actually super annoying. Guess now I get why it's best to leave the topic off limits. Oh, yeah. Person almost called other person by the wrong name. OMG. Clip gets 5 million views. And then they do content that they like and no one clips it to the same extent or watches it to the same extent. And it only makes you wonder, do these people actually want to watch this person's content or are they just being fucking weird? Right? Or are they just being weird? They just care about the weird situation they have been in that one time and not, the whole thing. The whole thing. Right? Why don't they clip Zen with all the wrong names? She's called Haruka. Right, that's what I'm saying, right? Like something actually funny. That has been clipped though, and I think some memes will do it. You need clickbaity thumbnails. Without it, you won't get any clicks, especially if nobody knows you. Yeah, but you don't have to focus the content within it on something not a big deal or negative or whatever. My clips channel, we even it's not even fully clickbait titles. It's just stuff that is more likely to be enticing than a straight definition. Right? Like, here. Oh, here. I told a story on stream the other day about some guy just like offered someone something and they didn't take it. Look at this thumbnail. Super clickbaity, but you know what? I talk in the video about exactly what the thumbnail and title are about. Exactly that. It's just carefully worded. Wild request streamers get. It could have been titled like anything that's way lamer, right? Yeah, I know the $4, the dot is funny because in the thing I said 4,000 and my editor wrote $4, but people still click. They forgot about the dot. And you know, a lot of the stuff on that channel is like that. It's like that. And I still say the things in the video that relate to whatever you see on the front of it. And it works out, man. It works out. One of like the ones that's more watched is one titled "The Doctor Could Tell Giga's Job," meaning the doctor could tell I was a streamer, right? It was just a 2-minute clip of me talking about how I went to the eye doctor and they saw the way my eyes had kind of changed over time, and they were like, "Do you stare at a computer screen all fucking day?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely." And then with the way I spoke as well, they said, do you like broadcast or something?" Right? They just asked. And there was that. But because this is like anything related to a VTuber and with like them doing something IRL and someone finding something out, ooh, it got way more clicks. It's so weird. I get why people are curious, but at the same time, I don't know. People focus so fucking much on it. So much. Ooh, look at that emote. I like that one. I like it. Bongo butt's good. But yeah, that's just how it goes, man. That's how it goes. Said you love Michi clips, a 5-second bit in a 15-minute essay. I feel like the way she expands upon stuff and the way I expand upon stuff can be very similar, but we're also so incredibly different. It's scary. It's scary. You have 190k views on a clip of me reacting to Neurosama, and it's literally just a screenshot, right? People love reactions. They love it. You say blank reacting to blank, and people go fucking rabid, and they just, I don't know. I think the word react just has strong SEO, maybe. People don't even care who's reacting to what at that point. They just see react, and they see a pog face on a thumbnail, and they go, yes, and they click. They click. Oh, I like that Oshi. You know, I'll tell you guys later. I'm working on something. It'll be done soon. That's all I'll say. What's your opinion on React channels? I think they're fine. I think people love to have negative opinions on them for no reason. I think they just like to hate on other people. They want to say it's lazy content or something. Or they're mad that it works so well and you don't have to come up with something new. You can just do the same thing over and over and have people watch it. But I think that just means you found something good and sustainable. So, whatever. I think thinking hard about it is stupid. You know what I mean? If people... Let's simplify it. You're trying to be an entertainer. What does an entertainer do? They entertain. How do they entertain? However they want. How do they find success? Entertain people very well to the point where they want to come back a lot. That's it. That is literally it. Anyone ragging on someone else for doing that well is being stupid. But it's lazy content. Great, they found something efficient and you're not doing it, and you're upset that you're not doing the efficient thing and it's not working out for you. I mean, who cares, you know? Comedians do reactions on stage all the time. All the time. All the time. Constantly. You said you don't mind react videos if the person's providing their own opinion, etc. The ones that just stare into the screen while the video plays and don't say anything drive you crazy. Why do they drive you crazy, and why does that make you mad? Because you could just not watch them, number one. I think you know that, though. Number two, they still do a singular job, which is curation. They find the stuff to watch, they put it into one spot, they watch it all together, and then place it into a channel. So other people know that they only have to go to this one channel to find curated content to watch of the style that they like watching, which, you know, maybe someone reacting to shorts or whatever. Boom, done. Even if that person didn't say anything, I mean, what do you think Daily Dose is? He's a curation channel. He grabs videos and he says a little thing before each one. This is a guy doing this. Yeah, exactly right. He dodged the react any bad thing by not being on screen. Exactly. He does the curation part. Other reaction people also do the curation part. Do they sometimes just watch Daily Dose and then one other channel? Yes, but now they've curated by putting two things together. Boom. There you go. Do I think that's a hard job? Do I think that's a super, like, amazing thing that they're doing? No. But I also don't get mad at someone else for being successful without putting a lot of effort in. If they just picked the right thing. They worked smarter, not harder. I can't get mad at someone for that, personally. I'm like, wow, great job. Great job. Make your money, you know? It's fine. It's fine. If there's demand for something like that and someone's feeding that demand, great, right? You don't like them where they constantly pause the video to yap? Like, come on. Well, some people like that, and you're not one of those people, so just don't watch those channels. There are people who like either, right? That's just how it is. That's how it is. So, but there's a difference between Daily Dose and like a full 2-hour reaction to a video while doing nothing. There is a difference. Does that matter? No. It literally doesn't matter. If people want to watch it and you're putting it in one spot for them to watch and they subscribe to it, then you're doing great. Done. End of story. No further discussion, right? Because being upset at the person making that channel, at the person running that channel, at the person doing the uploads, making sure they title and thumbnail it correctly for SEO so that it gets clicks, whatever. They're still doing all of that. Why get mad at them? Or why point it out? Why even sit there and point at it and be like, look, see? Right? Like, they're not doing a super difficult job. Okay.
Hi, GEEGA, my goddess, hi.
Who cares? Right? Who fucking cares? Like I was saying earlier, there's some streamers that have to do nothing but click go live, and they'll always have 5K plus people watching them because people are just in the habit of watching them. Great, they managed to get lucky, or they managed to do a type of content that got them to that point. Why look at that and be like, I can't fucking stand it. He doesn't do anything. Do I think it's funny? Yeah, I'll point it out and be like, you know, that's kind of cool. Look at that. Or we can talk about it like as an interest topic, right? Like, hey, it's really interesting that people will watch someone purely because it's habit at this point. That's cool. But not being, you know, we're not going to be like, that fucking sucks. You know, I hate that guy. We're not going to do that. Because it just means, I don't know, they figured it out. Congratulations. Right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, chair streams, there's some streamers that can get up and leave, and literally people are looking at their chair for 10 minutes and chat just spams and has a good time. Well, they created a community and managed to foster up a community that does that and has a great time without them. That's good, actually. That's a good thing, and they did a great job. You know? Can it be frustrating for another streamer who can't do that? I guess so. But like, they can't get mad at the other person, right? That's not good either. No, I don't think you were mad at them. I'm not calling that. I'm just saying there are people that do get like that, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. Yeah. One person brought up a really good point too. If you're watching someone react and are annoyed by them pausing the video, just watch the actual video. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. A lot of people get really upset at things that are under their control to separate themselves from, and I'm like, why are you wasting any energy on being upset at it? You could just go play a video game you like. You could go call up a friend. When was the last time you called your mother, you know? Go call your mom. I don't know. They just spend time on things that make them upset for no reason. Or spend time thinking about things that they normally would never give a thought to, but because they're just sitting there thinking and overthinking, they develop a negative reaction to something that they should never have had the time to sit there and think about like that, to that extent, right? You know what I'm saying? Those people don't have friends or mothers. No, they just don't care about them enough to think, let me put more time into them. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? You think reaction content does become objectionable if it takes away income from the people who made the content? That's true. If that's that person's bread and butter, that person is a content creator who makes that because that's how they live, and then other people are reacting to it and making all the money and not them. That can suck, but I am a proponent of, I do believe it ends up in most cases being win-win. Because what happens is, streamer or content creator who reacts shows a video on stream or in a video that is really funny. And people go, oh my God, that's so funny. Someone in the comments, if it wasn't already put in the description, will go, what was that video from? That was really funny. Someone will be like, oh, here's their TikTok. And now that person, just got promoted. They just got promoted. A lot of clips that have gone viral went viral because a reactor showed it when it was still at 10K views, not because it went viral just in the algo. And a lot of people seem to think that algos are pushing things like that. But the initial first 50K views a lot of the time, or first 100K, are often pushed by some sort of content creator showing it. And then after they show it, the algo sees that it has gotten a sudden influx and it goes, now let's push it. And then it pushes it on the platform. And people love to say that going viral is just SEO a lot of the time, but no, I think it's a mix of that and getting someone else to react to your shit. I think that's so much more significant than people realize. So many channels have gotten popular because Daily Dose would find something that they do and show it here or there. It's enormous. So, you know, people will be like, oh, I can't believe someone's taking food out of their mouth, but only certain channels are maybe kind of vulturing like that. I think a lot of them are, you know, it ends up being promotion. For sure. Yeah, what Confer said is so true. How often does it actually happen that's not win-win? The OG video people also didn't capitalize on the video. Look at how Talk to a managed to become a thing. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. People will have that moment. Someone showed their video and the video blew up. And then they'll get mad at the reactor and they'll be like, that reactor can just keep reacting to people's videos and making money. And I said, well, you didn't build anything off of it. So what do you deserve? You made one funny video once. Keep making them. Make more. Do something. And they just don't. Right? They just don't. So I don't know. When you get that moment of promotion, they should really do something. Yeah, Talk to it changed my life, dude. Really, things really went on the up and up after Talk to it came out. Things feel real different now. Fucking Talk to it. What a good. It's like one of the greatest podcast names you could come up with. Talk to it. Incredible. So the reactor even showed a video to an audience that wouldn't have seen the video to begin with. That's the thing. Exposure. That's what I was saying. It's so good, man. I don't know. I think people have so many gripes about little bits of content, and I just don't understand why when you could just change channels. You know what happened to the world? People started caring too much about all these things that don't have anything to do with them. And they started voicing their opinions about these things, like their opinion should matter in a space that they don't exist in. That they're just kind of sitting there and spectating. Why say anything? Why say anything? Why care at all? Nothing really matters. You're all space dust. Don't forget, okay? Don't forget. Someone could care about your opinion today, but you're all going to be dead in 100 years. So, you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Does it really matter? In a billion years, the oceans are going to evaporate. Exactly. True but sad. It's not sad. That's nature, and it's fine. It's fine. When did we get yep corn? Oh, we've had it for a while. We've had it for a bit. Yeah, I, however, will not be dead in 100 years, so. Sucks to suck, man. Sucks to fucking suck. Sucks to fucking suck, dude. Okay? Alright. A great man once said, never stop shutting up. Some people need to remember they don't have anything worth saying. I feel like it's one of those situations where it's good to talk to people around you who actually exist in your lives, like in a tangible form, about a lot of these things. But you don't need to do that outside of your sphere. No, I mean, sitting around and going into someone's YouTube video and being like, this is lazy content and I something. Whatever. But then you're sitting at the dinner table and you and your uncle are talking about, I don't know, a reaction channel you watch. And you share your opinion with him about what you think about if that's lazy or not. And he shares his opinion. Okay, that's a normal ass conversation between people who know each other. I think that's fine. You know? But yeah, right. People post more in YouTube comments than they talk to their neighbors. Exactly. You could just, you know, talk to people around you or something. I don't know. They go to Twitter and they type like a banger tweet in their mind, right? And they're like, here's my opinion on reaction channels. What a waste of energy, man. Life has this limited amount of time, and they're spending time typing an opinion on Twitter. What are they doing? Right? What are they doing, man? Go play a video game and have a good time. Right? Go farm that relic weapon. It's time. Because at least you're gonna have fun doing it. You know what I mean? Just go do it, man. People spend a lot of time on stuff that they don't need to. Imagine if people spent time... Oh my god. My cats are playing. Oh. Imagine if people spent time that they spend currently scrolling through whatever sites and then typing their opinions on things, working out instead. Think of the global impact, okay? Whenever you get the urge to type a comment out and it's something that like doesn't do anything positive, it's not nice words for somebody or like an opinion that's informative or something, you're just like, I hate reaction channels. Stand up. Stop yourself right there. Stand up. Do a squat. Okay? Like, just... Yeah, you'd have so much serotonin. You would. The endorphins, man. Yeah, learn a language. Do some damn jumping jacks, dude. I don't know. I don't mind people typing their opinions here because we're hanging out. You know what I mean? This is a community. But people will go out there and talk to a bunch of people that are never going to see them again and don't even know their username. And I'm like, what are you doing? These people put no value on you, so why are you talking to them? I mean, why do that? Yep, Discord does have a health and exercise channel. It does. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Something I've been seeing recently, actually, is this huge influx of people that I've seen on my timeline, at least. People saying they're taking breaks from Twitter. A fuck ton of people past month saying, well, not gonna be here for a bit. They're just done with it. They're done. And it's not just people going like, oh, I'm gonna go to Blue Sky and look at art. It's them going, I don't want to engage with any site like this for a bit. Yeah, a lot of people deleting it entirely. And I genuinely think those people are going to be happier. I think if you curate really well and you only follow, you know, artists and VTubers you like or whatever your interest is, and you don't scroll between anything but the timeline of people that you follow, great. But a lot of folks got into that habit of going to the For You page, like trending and looking through. And I think that's what's been harming them. Or reading replies to stuff. I think you should scroll through and like things, but don't go and read replies very much. Just don't. Don't click into the tweet. Just scroll past and read it and decide if you want to like it or not. And that's it, right? And I think if you can have those habits, you'll do fine. But a lot of people develop bad habits of you know, going to the wrong parts. Always reading the replies to the replies. All of that. And, yeah, doom scrolling, right? So, I think you either develop the right habits or you disengage. And more people have been disengaging because they realize they can't. They just can't. So, I'm glad to see people kind of taking a step back, right? And I know people want to be so globalized. They want to experience more people's opinions. They want to see more things so they feel connected. But I genuinely think people's mentals are better off when they find a slightly smaller, more curated experience, a pocket of the internet to be in, and settle down there and just delve out a little bit, not constantly, right? You want to remain connected. You want to know what's going on and check, you know, what's happening in the world, whatever. That's good, but that shouldn't be most of your browsing time. I don't think anyone should be doing that. It should be, let me just get informed and then let me go back to my comfort spot. You know? I think it's a little healthier. And you know, streamers, channels, things like that end up being that. Kind of retreat to a place where you're just there because of common interests and nothing else. Right? Yeah. You look at the replies once every 3 to 4 months of some posts to reinforce it's a bad idea. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was actually going to start asking, for myself, I was going to start asking anyone who's clipping my alt channel when I play GTA, I'm going to go formally ask them to stop clipping me. Don't post clips. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'll talk to my editors and we can post stuff that we want, but there will be certain things where I'll go, this is not worth posting. This is not worth getting a lot of views on this or whatever. No. I'm going to start talking to some channels and being like, would you be willing to just not do this? Ever. And see if they're cool with that. Because it's, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, I just don't want it. I just don't want it. No thanks. We're going to keep that closer to ourselves, you know? So yeah, sadly, a lot of things get announced on social media. Yeah, but you know, Twitter's got that lovely column when you go to the timeline. It has 2 tabs. One is For You, where it curates whatever it wants to show you. And then there's one where it's by people you follow only. So only the stuff posted by people you follow gets shown to you. Go there. That's it. There you go. And then you just make sure you're following the right people. Or if someone you follow keeps posting a lot of shit you don't want to see and it's bothering you, unfollow. Don't keep the follow because you like 10% of their posts, right? That's the way to do it. Yeah, just do following only, and then you'll be fine. I use Twitter a lot, but I do the following tab. And that's it. And I just see like a lot of my friends' posts, a lot of artists that I follow, and we do great. There's some people who retweet a lot of stuff I don't want to see, and I go and you can actually go to a person's individual profile and you can click on the little three dots and say mute retweets. So you can see posts that that person makes, but you won't see anything that they retweet. That is the best because there are people who post everything that they personally write out I want to see, but then they retweet a bunch of shit that I just don't care about. And I just do that as I go. And you just keep curating, you know, as you use it. And I have a great time on Twitter because of it. Like, I don't hate using the app, using the site at all because mine is like well curated. And if you are well curated, you'll be fine. Did you ever clip the alt channel? Which one is the clip channel? What are third party? Because my official clip channel is Daily GEEGA. I do not have any others that are official. As far as clips go. There are 4 YouTube channels that are official that are mine. It's the one that is just GEEGA. GEEGA Highlights, Daily GEEGA, which is the clips channel, and then the VODs channel as well. And if you go to YouTube, and you go... Are you ready? Oh, there's my channel. You go to my main channel. I have the official channels linked. But you could also, yeah, you can do the YouTube command there. That's it. Those are the ones that are official. Everything else is not mine. Clipping you in general, okay? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 100% yes. And if you're clipping something on the alt and it's a funny moment, it's just a funny moment, it's fine. I just want people to take, like, longer questions and conversations in GTA, whatever, and just not clip them. My editors watch all of it and they will handle it. But there's certain things I leave out on purpose because I know on stream it's fine. But there are a lot of like fans on YouTube that are the worst. And that I just don't want to expose them to that, you know? Are you considering more GEEGA channels? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. There are more things I want to do, more series that I want to do that I've been working on. But I'm going to try to find ways to put them on my existing channels as much as possible. If I do make any more, I can only foresee one at most. I really can't imagine doing any more, if I'm being honest. I really can't. I don't know. Food channel? No. If I did food channel, I think I would have to be either a full IRL streamer, which I'm never going to do, or hand camming, which I also don't do. I haven't done that. I haven't really planned on doing that. But then what's the point of a food channel if you can't, like, watch the person eat it? Know if they liked it or not. If they hand cam and then they eat it and say, it's really good, but you don't get to see them eating it. I don't know. Something about it. I can't do it. I can't do it. You missed the VShojo shorts? Have they not been posting any? Or do you mean the channel? No? Oh, you know what? You know what? That's right. I remember, there is a plan for that, don't worry. You're right. There is a plan. I have a lot that I want to do with our channel. Shorts I felt weren't worth posting unless they were doing a specific job. And I wanted to kind of adjust what we're doing with that. So that will be changed up a little bit. Here, let me see. Yeah, the last one that was posted was 5 months ago. It kind of wasn't worth the cost, if I'm being honest. You pay an okay amount of money per short. So I feel like if you're posting a lot of shorts and they're just little highlight shorts and they're not like the biggest bangers ever, you just end up spending a lot of money and bleeding a lot of money on it. Instead, the way to do it is to do some smaller intentional shorts, but I won't get into that, but it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But yeah, there's a lot more that will be done. I already mentioned this, but I was working on a video for this channel that is nearly done almost. And then I was working on another one that I'm not sure if it'll go here or elsewhere on my channel. I'm not sure yet where it'll go, but maybe on there. But I've been working on stuff to go on that channel, and I essentially opened a pathway so that if other members wanted to produce stuff and put it on there, or have more say in what ends up getting to the production pipeline, then they can do that a lot more easily. So I started up like regular meetings with a smaller team on that and all that stuff. So it's been good. The discussions have gone well and all, etc., etc. So I'm just glad. I like working on YouTube stuff. I do. You like Lime scripted shorts? Yeah, I think, I mean, that's, if someone's like, I want to grow, how do I do it? You make a short and you script it and you talk about your VTuber model. That's literally it. And you can develop it later where you can start talking about other stuff more. But when you just want to get clicks and people don't know you yet, you just make shorts where you're like, how does my model do this? It's this way. And then you explain it. And then everyone's like, whoa, that's so fucking cool. I like how she explains stuff to me because I love when people explain stuff. And then they, you know, then you're chilling. That's it, man. That's the whole thing. That's the whole process. Yeah, write that down. Write that down. It's actually funny how foolproof that works. I don't know. Anyone I've told to do that or has said, yeah, I'm gonna do one of these and does a little scripted short, it always works really well. And when it's about a VTuber model or it's a VTuber related thing, it does super fucking well. It's crazy. I think the word VTuber, if you post a short and you have the word VTuber in it, it just goes. Right? It just fucking goes. If I go to shorts and I'm just like, VTuber. Yeah, it's crazy. Sort by upload date, you know? It's pretty good, pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I think the shorts algo just loves people putting the word VTuber in their title. I don't know. I think how-to videos are perfect for shorts because people want quick and easy ways to do things, and shorts give it that illusion. It's not that people want to see cool things and they like when you peel back the curtain on VTubing. They love that because they're curious about it and they don't get it. No matter how many shorts they watch about people explaining models, they still don't get it. So every time they see a new one, they're like, wow, that's so cool. How does your hand tracking work? Oh, I have gloves on. Holy shit. Month later. Ooh, new video, how VTuber hand tracking works. Clicks it. Oh my god, that's crazy. A month later. Oh my god, a short about VTuber hand tracking gloves. I'm gonna click on it. It's insane. They just keep cycling back in. I don't know. They find it really interesting, and I think that's cool. I think that's cool. I'm glad people find it so interesting because I find it interesting. I used to worry that talking about that stuff all the time or talking about streaming, like having meta discussions, people would like hate. But people love talking about it. Because if you watch VTubers a lot or you like watching streamers, I mean, it's an area of interest. So they like talking about it. It's a snack. A donut I just finished. People love meta stuff, yeah. You know? Back when my Twitter DMs were open, and I was a much smaller streamer than I am now, I would talk about streaming. And I used to get, this, I want to say it was the same 3 people, but there were people that would make alt accounts and would DM me, like, the most rancid paragraphs about how they really dislike that I kept talking about streaming, and they'd be like, just talk about video games, just talk about games. They were really mad that I wasn't talking about the thing that they wanted me to talk about. Because maybe they watched me once while I was talking about games, and they liked that, and they wanted that to be 100% of what I talked about. And then I talked about something else, I would be like, you know, I think we need fewer bike lanes. Put them on the sidewalk, right? I talk about infrastructure, and they would be like, "You're not talking about video games. I don't like that." They'd freak out. Or if I would talk about the same thing twice, if the same topic would come up within a 1 month period, they'd get really upset. And I was like, "Are these people okay?" Oh my god, they would get so mad. But I think it was the same. Honestly, it could have been the same two people. I don't know. We do not talk about rompers, okay? We need to talk about rompers again. I think we need to loop back to rompers. Can you imagine telling your friend, "I only want you to talk about this"? Right. Isn't that crazy that someone would feel it's in any way normal, or maybe they don't think it's normal, to express that they want someone else to only talk about what they want them to talk about? It's not constructive, right? So when you try to think about what's going through their mind, they can't really think that that'll change anything, right? They have to be crazy if they think that. Maybe they're just so frustrated that they get so mad that they have to type it. That's unhealthy. So they need to go somewhere else, right? Like there's no rational or healthy like part of that equation. So I don't know, it's very easy to look at that stuff and kind of like not be affected, because I don't know, it's just, you're like, wow, that's they're unwell, and then you hit the X button, right? And then conversation gone. That's really it. I always thought it was crazy. Yeah, the act controlling it, dude. I know. Matara talking about 9-inch nails every stream. Love it though. It's enjoyable seeing people talk excited about something. People can have a lot of interests, but they usually have like 5 that are their mains, that they think about often, that they like interacting with or engaging with often. So when someone's on stream and they're talking for multiple hours every day, they're going to keep coming back to the things that they find interesting and talking about them. Isn't that normal for people? Right? I feel like that's very normal. I don't know. Yeah, the Tyson quote's evergreen. I know. People got too damn comfortable on the internet. They really did. They really did. What are your game predictions for 2038? Yeah. I remember one dude messaging me because he was really sad that I wasn't playing only retro and classic games, because kind of early on, I played a lot of GameCube era stuff. And I got through a lot of the games that I wanted to replay or play in general, and then started occasionally playing maybe a newer release. And the dude essayed. And I skimmed. I was like, let me see if there's anything that matters in here. Did he want to tell me anything, or is he just angry? He essayed. And the TLDR was, "I don't like that you don't play only retro and classic games. How could you? You've changed, and you're just playing new games because you're just chasing the trend." And I was like, I wanted to replay a couple games, so I did. And then a new game came out that I was interested in and went, wow, I really want to play that new game. This guy was so upset. I was like, I don't think you should be on the internet. I don't know. I feel like people with that much negative emotion towards something that shouldn't matter to them really we need a quarantine location. Just there you go. Stop interacting with streamers, right? I was like, that's weird. Thankfully, when I blocked that person, they did not make 100 alt accounts and keep messaging me, so that was interesting. But you know, you hope it would be like that every time. I ended up closing down DMs pretty quickly because I had, like, I don't know, 10 really weird messages, and went, well, that's enough for me, and I just locked it down. I don't know how people can like field those messages and leave their DMs open all the time. That's crazy. That's crazy. You can't change, not allowed. That's the thing. If they think that that's someone changing, then they never knew that person, because most streamers do see new games coming out and go, wow, I'd like to play that. Right? Right? I don't know. What'd you say? But streamer, I annotate and catalog everything you've ever said. How will I pass my time if you tell the same story at any point in time? There was one person, thankfully they don't really come around anymore. There was one person who used to do that. They used to fact collect on me and a lot of VTubers. And they stopped doing that so much after someone pointed out it was getting fucking weird. They had not a publicly posted wiki, but they had their own personally kept, lore book, where if anyone said anything, they'd mark it down as a fact and they would itemize it. So one time, I said that I liked a certain food, and they clipped it and titled it like, Giga says she likes this food, or says like this is one of her favorite foods. And they itemized it. They archived it into their list of facts about me and then put it under food because they had sections like things they like, things they dislike, or whatever. And then within that subcategory, foods and places and blah, 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 right? And they put it in there. And I was like, what? What? That's crazy. And the thing is, they didn't think it was bad. They were just like, well, I just figured if someone wanted to get into a streamer and they asked a question, I'd be able to answer it. They genuinely, they did not understand why it was weird. They thought it was a good thing. They thought it had a function. And I understand how they came to that conclusion. Is it the wrong conclusion? Yeah, but I was like, you know what? I get where you're coming from. And someone from the team, said, hey, yeah, exactly what you said, Oshi, right? Like, no one's getting mad at the intent here, but what you're doing will make people feel this and blah, 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 right? And eventually they after hearing that like 2 times, 3 times, they were like, okay. They said, all right, I get it. and they kind of peeled back from it. I think they also realized how much time they were spending on it, right? They realized the pure per stream time spent instead of just sitting there and watching the stream and enjoying it. But it was a whole thing. I remember that, and I was like, man, how can we even talk about this with this person, right? Because their intention was good. Absolutely. They just really didn't get why that was weird. Or why someone might not understand their intent as good and think it's, purely for something bad or whatever. I don't know. It was a whole thing. Reminds me of a bed from Community, right? Right? I'm writing down in my notebook everything you said about yourself ever. I don't know. I think they just wanted to make this person kind of was priding themselves on being a lore keeper. And I think someone told them that once and said, you're like a lore keeper. And they went, oh my God. And they felt a sense of purpose and they went crazy with it. Which I thought was good from a really like a simplified perspective, right? Keeping someone's wiki updated, totally fine. Some people might want to just take that on. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, they got a new model. Let me add it to the wiki. Let me add the credits of it to the wiki. Stuff like that, fine. But doing that every day, it's too much. It's too much. I don't want anyone to be that invested, right? He wants to be the noticer. That's basically what it was, yeah. To a scary degree. And I was like, hey, man, I don't think you're trying to do anything bad here, but let's not. Why not post it publicly if you're doing it? This person had the eventual goal of itemizing it and then making some sort of thing, either whether it be a wiki or whatever, where it would be possible, it would be available. That was part of why they were clipping things said on stream and then adding it to like the references that you would have in a wiki, right? But I don't think you need to reference a clip of someone saying they don't like eating chicken when you say dislikes chicken. Okay, like that's too much. That's too much. You get into that realm of people that when someone says something on stream, someone else will sometimes demand a clip of it to fact check, and it's something that means nothing. Someone will say, I like wearing Skechers. Someone else will say, yeah, that guy said he likes wearing Skechers. And someone else will go, proof? Right? Yeah, we don't need citations all the time. That's crazy. I don't know. Oh, there's so much. There's so much. Overzealous wikis like Huey, Dewey, and Louie having alignments in their wiki page, right? Yeah, what's Dewey's alignment? And someone essays about it. It's crazy. It's crazy. How'd you learn about it? Oh, he spoke about it proudly. Very proudly. Was like, oh yeah, someone wanted to know in my Discord at some point too, which we purged all that out, but the messages and everything. But I remember someone at some point asking a question about not being able to remember if I said I liked or disliked some food. And then this person swoops in and is like, according to my notes, here's a clip of her favorite food and one of her least favorite foods from different streams quoted when asked. And I was like, what? And then when someone else in that same chat was like, weird, tell me more. How much do you have? And then they told a mod and they were like, hey, I dug into this to see how much this person has. And it was like, yeah, we must consult the tomes. They were like, guys, you're going to want to see this. Guys. It was crazy. But why? Who knows? Who knows? Did they mention the +2 crit on there? The thing is, a lot of the stuff that he had, he like gladly let us check over it. A lot of the stuff that he had was not even factually correct. It was something that, let's say I said, I would like to do this kind of content one day, but I don't know if I will, realistically. He would write, like, one of her dreams is to do this kind of content. That's not, you know, what I said. There was a lot of nuance to that, but he'd leave out all the nuance. So everything that he had written down on people, it lacked so much nuance, and to the point where it was like incorrect entirely sometimes. So if someone else would read it, they get the wrong impression, right? So it's, you know, yeah, it wasn't even accurate. I was like, oh my god, man, it was too much. It was too much. And then the person felt so bad after it was called out a couple times and like they started to really understand how not good it was. They felt so terrible that they were like hands and knees, like, I promise I've deleted it. I will never do this again. I've transgressed. You know, and I firmly believe this person was sincere. I was like, okay, no, I get it. I get it. I don't know. You kind of feel bad for them. Yeah, it was a type of person who wouldn't understand the tact and nuance around that sort of thing. So I'm not gonna fault them too hard, to be honest. So I was like, all right, just don't do it. And it had a happy ending. It turned out to be good. What's this question? Could you imagine streaming from under your kotatsu? Do you know how low those are? That table's like, what, a foot off the ground? Could you lie down under it like a plank? Yeah. Could you do anything under there? No. No way. You can't even sit up. Nothing. I can't even put like my knees up under there. I have to like push my my legs out flat. Floor stream. I genuinely considered a long time ago getting my entire setup to be on the floor, essentially. To be seated on the floor, either cross-legged or legs straight out or whatever, because I like working at my kotatsu, just sitting there and doing stuff. But yeah, I decided that was not a good idea over time. Not a good idea, and I didn't end up going for it. Rip your back? No, if you just sit properly on the floor, you can still be fine. You'd still be all right. There are ways to do it, but you have to have really good posture all the time. Think about it constantly. And you have to get up really frequently as well. So, no. No, it could be done, but not for my main setup. Not for my main setup. Thought they were like 50 centimeters or higher. Oh, no. What? 50 centimeters is a lot of feet off the ground, actually. Nope. But I had thought about it, and I decided not to because I genuinely, when I'm using my computer, I stand up all the time. I stand up. I just get up, stand up, whatever. If I have, if I'm streaming, right? If I have stream on, and I'm supposed to be standing here, I'll just stand my legs up. I'll just push my chair out. You don't even know I'm doing it. I just push my chair out and I just stand up a little bit. And I'm just like leaning my arms, like my elbows on the desk, hanging out like that for a minute. That's it. 50 centimeters is like what? 1.64 feet. No, 60. Let me think. What's the calculation? Somewhere around there, actually. Yeah. It's too much. It's too much. The table, well, maybe mine is just lower. No, the table shouldn't be that high. The table is, let's see. Kotatsu height. I'm trying to imagine what mine is. Now I'm having a hard time imagining it. Yeah, common height range is 35 to 40 centimeters. It's way lower as far as how much of your body you can shove under there. There's no way. No way. Now I see all these pictures of kotatsus. I don't know. I kind of want a wider one, a more rectangular one. Because what I do is if I have someone over, like my mom comes over or something, what I do is I do not sit at the kotatsu. I'm like, yeah, we'll sit on the couch. Oh, we have to eat? Okay, we'll go eat at this table. And I'd rather just say, hey, this is where I sit when I eat, and just have her sit next to me. You know? That's all. That's all. You have one of those desks to get higher and want one? You should get a standing desk. They're the best. They're the best. Always looks bigger and animate. Yeah, kotatsus are not that big, man. They're like a tiny little table near the floor. You can get your legs under there, and then that's kind of it. I can't even put my legs under there and have my cat sit on me. Soma, thank you for the raid. Come on in. Thank you for the raid. No, my leg plus cat height is too high for the kotatsu because they'll end up hitting the heater. There's that heater that's on the bottom side of it. I can't be doing that. I'm not about to cook my cats, you know, so it doesn't work out. Bigger table seems like they would take forever to heat up. No, those things are hot. The heater under it, boiling hot. I have to have mine at the lowest setting or I'll cook my legs. And I get way too overheated way too quickly, so I don't even put the skirt on it half the time. Or I leave the edges pulled up so the heat escapes. I don't leave it closed and then get like warm under it. People always go, oh, so toasty, but I think it's way too much usually. Way too much. So I usually do one corner and most of like two sides of that skirt. I just tie it up so it's open. And then that's it. I don't even turn the heater on half the time. I just leave my legs under it, and those two sides being more covered, boom, that's enough heat retention, then I'm fine. I don't know. And yeah, if the cats go under there, oh, no hope. That thing is getting hot in 2 seconds. I can't. When I sleep in my bed, which, by the way, I have a mattress that cools a little bit. I have a pillow that cools a little bit already because I get overheated. If one of my cats climbs under the covers with me, we are boiling. I am sweating within 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I get overheated easily. My cats are a million degrees. So, you know, I don't really need the kotatsu that much from the heat perspective. I love sitting on the floor at it. I love that. Having it there for when you like first sit down and you're really cold and you want to initially warm up, great. But beyond that, no, I start fucking sweating. They're not even floofy cats. They're very normal. Very average, you know, short hair, all of that. It's just not, I don't know. Memory foam or springs? I got a foam mattress. I got a foam mattress that allows airflow through it so that the heat gets carried out. The heat dissipates out very quickly. So when you touch my bed, it feels cold. And if you lay on it for a while, it still feels a bit cool. It doesn't really feel like it heats up much. It's so nice. I highly recommend. Highly recommend. The only expensive things I own really are my mattress and my computer chair, right? The things I spend most time on or using. And that was one of the best purchases I ever made because I would always have to turn a ceiling fan on and I would just be blasting myself with air, like the highest setting, wind on my face, you know, all night kind of thing. I just get so overheated. So overheated, man. All the time. You slept on the floor for a while when your old bed broke, did miracles for your back. Really? I can sleep on a hard surface. I can sleep on a floor. I don't feel like that helps me. But also, I like to sleep on my side a lot. So that's kind of one of the problems. That's a big issue, actually. If I sleep on the side, my hip when I wake up will feel like it's dying. Absolutely dying. My hip and my shoulder. Dead. I can't do it. I cannot. Or even lying on my back, if I'm on the floor, my tailbone will start to get a little sore. But not too bad. Not compared to if I'm on my side. You got a Herman Miller for 50 bucks? Yeah, if you do those, you go to a spot that's wholesaling old office equipment and get a Herman Miller. Dude, lightly used, $100 max. Easy. That thing is multiple thousands of dollars sometimes. Easy win. It's so cheap in comparison. The aftermarket for them is so cheap. And if they put them in a an office first and then wholesale it out later, they're often barely used. Where's one go to find such wholesale things? Just look it up. Look up used Herman Miller in your area straight up and you'll find a bunch of them. Usually like 300 used. Depends on the chair. Depends on which one. But yeah. Definitely not over 1,000 at least, which is, you know, they're really expensive. You sleep on your front? Oh, I can't do that. That is impossible for me. I cannot sleep on my front. It is just, no. I sleep on my side, but I sleep on my side kind of like half on my back. Not that far on my side. I'm at a 45-degree angle. A little bit shifted, you know. That's me. Sometimes on my back, sometimes completely on my side, but usually not that far on my side. And then I'm chilling, but I can't, the front, literally impossible for me. Yeah, 45-degree kind of sleeper. That's me. You said, my nose is too pointy, I sleep on my front, it becomes load-bearing. You don't, no front sleepers face down directly in the pillow. You're turned. Unless you get one of those pillows that you put your face in when you get a massage. Ooh. But I can't imagine anyone doing that. Straight flanking, yeah. Oof. Said you never slept on your front before this year, but this year you started randomly doing it. You ever do that where you just suddenly notice you start having a wildly different habit? I started sitting differently. I used to have perfect sitting posture a long time ago, and then at some point I started crossing my legs. Still good posture when I do it, but I started crossing my legs when I sit at my desk. And now I think I spend 50% of my time maybe cross-legged in my chair, sitting up straight. And I find I don't lean back against the chair. I just sit up straight. That's it. When I'm cross-legged. But if I put my feet forward, you know, down on the floor the way you're kind of supposed to, quote unquote, I feel like I rely on leaning against the back of my chair to keep my posture good. Otherwise, I'm more likely to start slouching. And I feel like my posture is so much better if I sit cross-legged. So I just got, you know, more in the habit. I let it happen. I don't know. I enjoy it. Is it better for posture? It does leave your hips out in a way that, yeah, it becomes really hard to slouch. And if you do, you only kind of slouch from the middle of your back up, so you feel it, you can tell. And that awareness keeps you from doing it. I don't know. If I sit normally, I start sliding forward. Okay, I become World of Warcraft guy. I start sliding forward. My armpits are on the fucking arms of the chair at that point because I've slid down so much. Not good. Not good. I'll notice it after I've slid down like 6 inches into my chair and I'll go, wait a minute. Am I even sitting on the chair? Am I floating? Can't do it. But I've always sat cross-legged a lot outside of my chair, so I don't know. It's just kind of easy for me. Yeah, posture check right now. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth gunching. It's so bad for you, man. It's so fucking bad. I think I gunched for a little bit at one point, and that was why I kind of started sitting cross-legged. I didn't even notice it. I think I just became aware of it and went, I shouldn't sit like that, and naturally just started going cross-legged. It's so much better, man. So much better. But also not relying on the back of your chair to keep you straight and just sitting up straight, I think is better for your muscles. A lot better. You sit with your ankles behind your ears. I'm so sure. I'm so sure. Uh-huh. You do not for posture, but because you're slay. All my mods. It's true. It's true. Time to lock in leans forward. You know, yeah, if I'm playing a game and I have to lock in, I will allow myself to have terrible posture for 30 seconds of gameplay, but I will only do it for those locked in moments and then right out of it. Right out of it. Can't do it. Oh, buy a huge ball and sit on it. That's the strat if you want good posture. Yeah, get the exercise ball. People who do that are crazy. Or what's that chair where you're half kneeling? Let me see. Kneeling desk chair. Yeah, ergonomic kneeling chair. You love those? Are those good? Every time I see them, I think to myself, this looks like shit. But it might actually be really good. How many of you have done this? Do you approve of the kneeling chair? For a long time it sucks. You were that guy with the ball at work, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. This thing looks kind of I just can't imagine myself doing this. Oh my god, I love this picture for this one product. Holy shit. They found a dude who lives like me. Ready for this? This dude actually lives like me. Look at his office. Nothing. Nothing. Empty room clearly staged just for this photo. Desk with practically nothing on it. Singular lamp. That's it. Dudes will just live like this. That's me. I'm dudes. That's it. Some floorboards, some walls, a desk. Let's go. His keyboard, one row of keys. What is going on with this keyboard? Wait, enhance? Hold on. Hold on. Enhance. Why is it so angled? And why does it look so like it's like short? It looks like it doesn't have F keys. I can't tell. What other devices does he have? Ah, yes, my 2-monitor computer with my laptop and tablet and phone all perfectly squarely laid on the desk. Oh, and a ring to show that he's married because he's that guy. He's that guy. 2 lamps, a table lamp and a floor lamp. Oh. Amazon Echo Dot, of course. Of course. And then what else do we got? Polo shirt. Tasteful glasses. Simple but coiffed hair. Piece of art on the wall. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's calming. It's the calm painting from Played Up, guys. And then whatever the fuck this thing is. These chairs actually, people have said they're pretty good, but I can't imagine sitting in one for a long time. I feel like these are for people that work on their laptops. And they work on their laptop for 20 minutes. Right? I can't imagine this. His cable management is impeccable. Yeah, no cables at all. How does he do it? This dude said, is that bricky? Is that him? Bricky gives me those vibes of like he's exactly the dude, okay, that I'm about to mention, and there are a bunch of people like this. Dude who was nerd their whole life and then later realized that they want to wear clothes that look nice. That's it. That's it. That's it. And I know so many people like that, and it's funny because when I look at them, I can tell. Because they tend to follow certain style kind of guides and principles that kind of are similar. So they end up, a lot of them, when they find that later in life instead of earlier, you'll notice that they tend to stick to certain like fashion rules and stuff. And hairstyles and things as well. Oh, it's funny. It's funny how you can just see and you're like, you decided you like clothes later in life versus earlier. Does it look nice? Yeah, it does. It does. The end result is fine. I'm just saying you can tell based off of what kind of rules they follow with how they dress themselves, what point they kind of started deciding to like clothes during. It's interesting. You said, I feel so seen. Raise your hand if that's you. Raise your hand if that's you. No, I have a lot of dude friends that played tabletop for a long time, and there's this clear distinction, clear drawn line right down the middle of people who decided they wanted to dress nicely and people who never cared. And both camps have a lot of things in common with the people within their own camp with what they wear. It's insane how much some people look like they're cloned. Same hairstyles, same types of glasses, the frames. You know those people who wear frames that are not it. There's nothing trendy about them. They tend to wear frames that are very thin and smaller glasses as well, a small, thin, wide rectangle, right? And you're like, I see you. Yeah, copy pasted, dude. Well, I think most people are copy pasted. Everyone's kind of within a bucket like that, for sure. Very few people, you look at them and go, I've never seen that before. What a unique individual. Right? There's always something you can kind of like liken it to in your mind. But all of my friends within a certain category, I feel like they follow similar principles. I do notice a lot of my dude friends that were into gaming, but especially tabletop, and then decided later they wanted to clean up and look better. They all have that hairstyle. They all have that hairstyle. It's either that or they decided to keep the top long and they did a man bun, but not many of them. Most of them did not do man bun because most of them feel like that's very like college asshole coded. So it depends on the person. But the same haircut where it's got the fade on the side and the bottom and then long up top and they go in, gel it back a little bit. It's like completely without question, almost all of them have that hairstyle. Buzz cut for you. It's probably easier. It's probably so much easier to take care of. I don't know. I've learned over time that some hairstyles look really bad on certain people's head shapes. And I've had some friends get a haircut that if you just take a picture of them and you cut off everything below the hairline, you look at the hairstyle and go, wow, that looks good. But then you add the rest of their face to it and you're like, whoa. And it looks taped to the top of their head because it's not right for them. Ooh, sometimes it just doesn't work. I watched some cooking show on Netflix, and one of the dudes on there had like the worst haircut ever. And on paper it was good, but on his head it looked like it was glued on. I don't know. It wasn't right, and I couldn't stop looking at his hair every time. Every time they would cut to him and he'd be cooking, and everyone would go, "Oh my god, this guy's crazy! Holy shit, gonna be a Michelin star restaurant owner one day." Oh my god, they'd be going insane, and I would be staring at his haircut, thinking to myself, that is not it. Any quick fashion tips? Try to have a waistline on your outfit. Even if your waist sucks, even if your shape you don't like, try to give yourself a waistline because hiding it makes you bulkier and it never helps your shape at all. And giving yourself a waistline makes your legs look longer. Instead of people looking at you and visually seeing your leg end at the bottom of your shirt or, right at your hip or something, instead have it feel like your leg ends at the top of your pants, right? And slightly higher waisted is usually better for that. It makes you just look better overall for most people. For most people, not everyone. Some people it doesn't, but I would say for most people it helps. As a graying 40-year-old man, how do I make myself not wear Zelda t-shirts and cargo shorts? Oh, it's tough. It's hard, man. Yeah, put on the Giga shirt instead. Do that instead. That's the way. That's the way. That's the way to go. Hem your pants, tuck your shirt. Got it. Tuck, but do French tuck, like where you just tuck the front a lot of the time instead of tucking the whole shirt, depending on your body type. Some people whole tuck all the way around. Great. Some people not so much. But just try it. Just try it. Ask other people. You know what? Here's my number one tip. Ask other people and try to get friends to be truthful with you. Okay? Just be like, hey, I am trying to change things up and I need a genuine answer. Do you like this or this? Okay? And you do shirt all the way down, shirt just tucked in front, shirt tucked all the way. And just genuinely ask them which one looks better and try to find people who will genuinely tell you what they think. And go to friends who dress nicely. If you ask a friend who doesn't dress nicely, chances are they're going to project what they like on you, and it's not going to help you. Does this Giga shirt make my butt look big? They always do. That's one of the features, actually. Don't hide your baby knees. Oh, yeah, stop wearing shorts that hide your knees. They're too long, and they make you look shorter, and they make your legs look wider. If you don't want that, don't do that. Always have your shorts cut off just above your knee or shorter than that. But when they're like mid or below the knee and they cut off there, what if you have chicken legs? Whatever, you have chicken legs. It's fine. That's fine. Let them fly, okay? Let them be free. Let them be free. Your friend's mom dresses him. If it looks good, it looks good. Whatever. You just slightly above the knee. It's better. It's better. Yeah, I think you should all wear hot pants, if I'm being honest, but that's just me. That's just me projecting what I think you should do onto you. I think the answer is you should wear hot pants, but, you know, that's a tough sell on some people. That's rough. I will say one of the easiest things to get into that is usually pretty inoffensive is getting into athleisure, right? Athletic wear. Could go to the gym, but look slightly better than that. It's very foolproof for day-to-day stuff. Obviously, it doesn't work at work all the time, but, you know, really easy. Opinion on kilts. Don't wear one if you're not of a culture that needs them culturally, because, I don't know. I don't think fashionably it's very good at all. Now, if you yourself are like, I am from the land of kilts. My family's from the land of kilts. Go for it. Because then you have a reason when someone asks you. But if you're not and you're like, I'm going to get into kilts. They don't look good enough for that. I'm sorry. Okay? They don't look good enough for that. They can be okay. It depends. What about utility kilt? What is that? Oh, wait. I've seen these. No, I've seen it. It's the one that has, like, the buttons on the front and everything has the snaps. It's like a cargo thing. Yeah, no, this is just a statement that says I am way too up my own ass. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. You said you're going to put on hot pants and go wash your car in front of the wife? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A little service, you know? That's the way to do it. As a big guy, is there a better way to dress for myself besides khakis and the equivalent of a polo shirt? Yeah, I think colors are a big part of it. I think colors are a huge part of it, actually. And it depends on what you mean by a big guy. But either way, putting on belts, a lot of people, a lot of my friends especially who are bigger, try to hide it. And they try to wear bulkier things. A lot of the point of cargo pants and cargo shorts is actually that they are bulkier and they obscure your form a little more. They have those huge pockets, everything. And it kind of makes them feel like they can hide in it a lot of the time. Some people don't realize that. Some people, that's specifically what they're going for. And I think that's worse because what you're doing is you're adding more material to you. You're adding more bulk to you. And visually, your whole silhouette's getting bigger, right? The more you try to hide it in certain ways, I feel like it really just overall makes you appear larger. I get you might want to hide certain details, but there's certain things that really aren't that big of a deal. Yeah, well-fitted clothes, exactly. And well-fitted clothing does not mean tight at all. But making sure that things aren't too long on you. A lot of people, when they buy bigger clothing, they don't go out of their way to hem it. So they'll buy something that is bigger in two directions, it's longer and wider. And then they end up with a t-shirt that's really long on them or whatever. And you just make yourself a big blob of material, right? Because there's so much material hanging off of you, especially if you're larger, it will hang down. But if you get that thing hemmed, then the shirt is just where the shirt's supposed to be. The pants start where the pants are supposed to be, and you're keeping yourself kind of as small as you should be, right? It doesn't mean you have to wear tight stuff. Consider wearing more pants that are straight-legged. If you are going for something where, now, again, this depends on how big. If you are wearing something where it holds you somewhere near the waist or maybe below, if you have a gut and you have it below there and that's kind of where your belt starts, right? That's where your waistline of your pant is. Just try to have it be a straight line downward from there. Don't wear a tapered pant or anything that's like closer on the ankle or whatever. If you're anxious about the size of your legs and the size of yourself overall, wear something that goes straight down. Because then the waistline, when someone looks at your leg area, is the smallest part of you, or one of the smallest parts, right? If you are larger, around the midsection, and then you wear like a tapered pant, you know what I mean? You turned yourself into a triangle, into an inverted triangle, and it gives this illusion that is way worse than it really is in reality, right? So I think waistline management is the big thing. And if you have like a big midsection, you can play around with how high and low waisted things are. You don't have to do like the Peter Griffin waistline. You know, you can go a little lower and have a belt and hide it a little more. You can have a shirt that again is tailored to be long enough so that you don't have to tuck your shirt in, but it still ends at the right point. It'll make you look so much better than wearing something that's just huge on you. But it's tough without me knowing like exactly the body type, because the way people put on weight is so different. Some people are really wide at the midsection. Some people are like a tree trunk, right? They're just wide all the way top to bottom, and dressing that's so incredibly different. Yeah, jackets, belts and jackets. Putting a jacket on is huge. Huge. A lot of people will only have coats that work as big winter coats, and they don't have many casual jackets that are thinner and they can put on anything. But they tend to be really good for controlling the height of or the length of your shirts and things and all of that. It's really foolproof because you can tuck in a shirt, and let's say in the front you tuck it in and you're like, it doesn't look so bad. But if you tuck in your shirt everywhere else, you turn around and you feel like it makes you look too big everywhere else. What you do is you tuck in the shirt anyway, and then you put on a jacket so people are only seeing the front sliver of you. So from the front, you look a certain length in the leg area, right? Because of where that belt is that they can see because your shirt's tucked in. But around like the back and the side where you might be a bit more self-conscious, they cannot see that. It's an illusion. You're showing them just what you want them to see, and you're not just a dude in a long t-shirt. It's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. And a jacket obscuring the back is fine. An article of clothing obscuring everything, now that's when you turn into like too much of a just blob of fabric, right? But yeah. And that's my best advice without knowing what you in particular look like. But yeah. Finally fall in Texas, I can wear jackets at least. I mean, that's the harder thing too. If you are larger, you probably are going to get more hot easily. So you're going to have to go and really search for thin jackets. So you have to search for them and shop for them when it's like summertime. When it's just before and after summertime. If you think about, oh, I want jackets, and you start shopping for them in the fall, they're probably just displaying all the really heavy duty stuff. And it's just not worth it. You're not going to find what you want. You're going to get so overheated. So overheated. Button up flannels. Yeah, any shirt that you can button up or down, you can just wear over another shirt open, like a jacket. You can. You can roll up the sleeves of one and make a button down shirt look like a casual jacket if it's the right fabric. That kind of stuff works really well. So look at what you already have and think about what you could change by just rolling up sleeves or unbuttoning instead of leaving everything buttoned. Buttons are meant to be opened, right? Or closed, whatever you want them to be. Beak said, don't wear a shirt in the pool because you're bigger. Nobody's asking themselves, wow, who is that skinny guy with the shirt in the pool? I mean, that's a comfort level thing. Some people really don't want to. But at the same time, yeah, like, you want to be realistic with yourself and say to yourself, is it worth trying to pretend I don't look a certain way when everyone knows that I probably look a certain way? And then being uncomfortable because I'm wearing a shirt that's sticking to me in the pool? Or is it more important for me to just be comfortable in the pool and just be like, well, this is what I look like, you know? Most people don't care that much. They really don't. But then again, there is a level of insecurity. Some people, it's hard to get themselves to do that. But try to not care. Try to not care. What if you're not fat but you have weird nipples? Well, you take 2 Band-Aids, put them in an X right over so they can't see it. Works every time, Blazing. Works every time. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I think the shirt in the pool thing is fine. Just don't wear a white shirt. Just don't wear a white shirt. I don't know. It's not the way. It's not the way. Oh yeah, you won't do it anymore. Too self-conscious when you were a kid. Yeah. I think a lot of people develop the habit when they're teenagers and their bodies are changing and they start wearing shirts in the pool. They start like hating every picture of themselves. They have a terrible haircut and they look awkward and they don't grow out of that insecurity. Even if you look at them and there's way less reason to be insecure. Because yeah, when teenagers are growing, they look fucking weird. Okay, I get that. That's fine. But usually people look better after. And they don't always kind of match that with their actions. You grew out of the insecurity, but not the awkwardness. That's a natural thing, right? You develop how awkward you are in those same years. And the insecurity makes that develop the way it does. I think that's normal. Some people are just awkward. That's fine. Whatever. Fucking whatever. Honestly, I feel like most people are. I think the average person is pretty awkward physically, the way they move around, the way they carry themselves. I think people that carry themselves well are a bit more rare. So, I don't know. I think you should just remember that that's really normal and really average. And it's not a unique to you thing. Doesn't make you super weird because everyone's like that for the most part. Ooh, show us how to dress correct in a dress to impress stream. I would love to like grab some of my brothers and like make them wear things, take pictures with their heads cut off and show it, but I don't think they'd be comfortable with that. Because then I could show really good examples of what I mean, you know, in real time. But I don't think they would want that. They don't want to be shown, even if it's just a picture of like the shoulder down, you can't see their head or whatever. I don't think they want that. Yeah, cut their heads off on stream. So true. Definitely what was meant by that sentence, 100%. Yeah. What does it mean to carry yourself well? It's a mixture of posture, eye contact, way you speak, everything about you that when people look at you, they don't feel any awkwardness coming off of you. I guess that's how I describe it, right? I don't think many people are like that. I think most people have at least one of those boxes unticked. I think everyone, you know, not everyone, most people. Confidence. Yeah, confidence. If someone looks too stiff to the point where they don't look comfortable. I think that's the biggest thing. You look at someone, they seem to be comfortable, where they are, with what they're wearing, speaking to anyone around. That's it. Not even super confident in themselves. I think carrying yourself well just means you don't look uncomfortable existing, right? But if someone's standing around, they look uncomfortable, you're gonna be like, that person is not, you know. Time to practice eye contact. Chat, do it. Chat, everyone stare at the chat now. Let me see it. Let me see it. I've always been fine with eye contact. And I have a few friends that just can't do it. They can't do it. It makes them feel awkward. They just start to freak out when they have to make eye contact with someone they don't know. You can do it with friends, it's fine, but with someone they don't know, they find any excuse to be like, I'm just looking at the menu 1,000 times while I'm ordering, even though I'm saying out loud what I want, and I've finished ordering and I'm paying. I'm just gonna keep looking at the menu. And they start doing it, right? I have a lot of friends like that, and I'm like, man, it's just a person in front of you. They don't want to look at you either. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, stare into your webcam in a Zoom meeting so you're making eye contact. Ugh. That freaks me out when people do that. There was one dude in meetings a long time ago. He used to do that. We used to use Google Meet. He would get into every call, and he would when addressing everyone, someone would say, "Hey, so and so, what update do you have?" He would look into the webcam, and he would start giving his update. And one time I said, "Hey, this isn't the news. You don't have to do that. Like, you don't have a teleprompter. It's okay. You can look at your notes and just read off of them. You don't have to look into it." And he was like, I just thought I would get judged if I didn't seem like I could recite everything without looking at my notes all the time. And I said, I don't think anyone cares. He thought it made him look like cool, as if he knows what he's talking about. No, it did not help like that. Not at all. Not at all. Like a Bethesda NPC. Oh yeah, it's I don't know. You're afraid of staring them down? I stopped making such constant eye contact when talking to people. I got in the habit more of looking away as I'm telling a story or, you know, whatever. Because I don't remember when it was. At some point, someone said, like, I stare too intensely when they're talking because I'm really listening to them. And they were like, something about your expression is very intense. And I said, what does that mean? Like angry or like a negative expression? She was like, no. She said, I just, it's just a lot. and then for a while I said, okay, I'm going to make less eye contact. And I've never had anyone say that to me ever again, but, and I feel like now I make eye contact the same way I used to again. I don't know. Too much aura? Yeah. Intensity or something. And I wasn't unblinking or anything like that, so I don't know. You're not stuck with stoner face? Nah, I don't have stoner face. I don't have resting bitch face. I don't have any of that. I think it's just a lot. As she said, it's a lot. Nurse, thank you for the tier 3.
Jeez.
Oh my god. Thank you so much. You have the cold stare. I'm trying to think of what people have said about my expressions, my like natural expressions. I can't even, I don't know. Passive command aura. Maybe. I've always had people just listen to me. Is that part of my face though, or the way I speak, or the way I carry myself? I don't know. But I've always had that if I walked into a room and said, well, here's what I think, everyone would always stop and listen. And that's just, I think that's more how I speak than my face though. I don't think that's a face thing. Or maybe it is. I don't know. You need to come off as having an intense aura in order to assert your dominance at the top of the software engineer hierarchy. That's like the easiest room to take control of, if I'm being honest. None of those people are going to talk over you or be assertive. And even if they are, like, they get it. They're usually smart enough to understand when to speak and when to not speak and, you know, all that. So it's fine. It's fine. You started talking in class one time and everyone turned and you were like, why? When I was in school and I was in clubs, I was in a lot of clubs and extracurriculars and all that because I just wanted to try everything. So I was in all these clubs and everyone kept asking me as I was in these clubs for some time if I wanted to become club president. And I would say, no. I enjoy being here. I enjoy working. I enjoy doing everything that I'm doing. I do not wish to be club president. And they would go, but you already, you know, when you speak, everyone will listen to you and then you can organize them really well. And I would say, that's cool. I'm in a lot of clubs. I do not want to be club president. And then what happened was, I know in high school especially, I did not agree to be club president of like every club. But I showed up last year to school, final year, and found out that I was made manager or president of way too many clubs. And I said, hey guys, who chose this? Because I'm not trying to do this. And they were all like, oh, it'll be fine. I've already done a lot of the work anyway. And I said, no. Yeah, I got voluntold, exactly. And I said, all right, you know what? I'll do it, but I'm putting this on my resume. It was very annoying. I did not want that. I did not want that. I wanted the flexibility of not being that, but, you know, what can you do? And I said, well, if I slack one week because I want to go do something else, you're going to bother me about it? And they said, nah, you still do a lot. And I went, all right, well, okay. Okay. Makes coordinating club meetings really easy. I was able to stay in so many clubs because they eventually kept consulting me on when meetings and things should be. So I was able to move them around to whatever schedule worked for me so I could show up to all of them. So it just worked. It just worked. Easy. You were an absentee club president of an anime club for 2 years in high school. You genuinely did not attend at all, but got to put in your college resume. That's insane. Did no one notice? Did they not care? Why? 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 I got voted in as the president of the gay club. That's right, the gay club.
GEEGA.
It used to have a different name, but people didn't really like the name, and they named it the gay club. And I said, but doc, I'm not gay. I was talking to the teacher in charge. Hey, I'm not gay. I think someone who is should probably be president. and then the teacher in charge, he said, you're right. Well, the person voted vice president, which was just the person with the second most votes, is gay, so we can do that. And I said, thank you, please. I really don't think I should be the president of the gay club. I was like, why'd they vote for me? Why? It's so dumb. And then, you know, they swapped it. And I said, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really don't think I should be president of this club. Never being the zesty allegations. Too many of my damn friends were in that club. I couldn't not join. You know, I had to. I had to. We made the best food. We made the best food. We had the best events. Everything we did was the most fun. Did they make you vice president? Yep, I was the vice president of the gay club. I wish we had a different name for the club. I wish we had a different name. And they suggested so many names, and every single name had some sort of weird insensitivity. And I said, we can't do this. I think it just has to be the gay club at this point. Like, because all the things that they suggested outside of the club, like that the teachers were suggesting, we were like, it's a little off. I don't know. This was a long time ago, so things were different. Okay. I was like, all right. What do people do in the gay club? They get transformed into gigamods. Yep. Very true. Yeah, it was just not like the names they came up with, some of them were not it. They were just not it. It's not the way. Explicitly heterosexual vice president of the gay club just rolls off the tongue. Yeah, well, that's That's exactly how it was. And I said, guys, I'm not even on this entire spectrum of things, unless you count ally. I'm like, I'm not any of these letters. You can't have me as the president. This is stupid. This is literally like, this defeats the purpose, man. So dumb. Like, why'd you vote for me? I didn't even campaign. I didn't say to the club, hey guys, I'd love if you voted for me. They just put my name down. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What do people do in the gay club? Talk about being gay. It was a lot of events and fundraising for charities, honestly. That was the most important thing. And then just being a resource if someone in the school was like thinking that they might be not straight, they could walk into the room, and we had a strong pact. We did not tell people. People could come in and consult and be like, am I gay? And they would, and kind of just unload to like a few of us. And we would not tell anybody. Genuinely, that shit never leaked out. It was beautiful. It was a strong pact. We also had a Dropbox where people could leave notes to ask us questions about these things if they were like curious about something. And then they would write a location where they wanted us to leave the note for them to get it. We could give it to a teacher and have that teacher hand it to them, but do it in a way where the teacher doesn't even know what it's about. We would just be like, hey, this person said that they're going to come up to you during this, in between these two periods, to get this note. We don't know who it is. Just here you go. And then someone would just know that a teacher had a note and say, hey, someone left a note for me, and they would hand it to them. So they wouldn't know why the note was there, why we dropped it off, and then we wouldn't see that person pick up the note. So we had this really cool system of people being able to talk to us and get like a written response about these things without having to out themselves. And it was really effective. It was scarily effective. We got so many notes. So many people genuinely being like, I don't know how to navigate this. Can I do this? Can I do that? Blah, blah, blah. And it was a whole thing. That system was crazy effective. I think it's one of those things where nowadays with the internet, you could probably have people just go ahead and submit questions, but we had to do it, analog at the time. So it was interesting. You said you liked your gay club more, where you played Ultima Online for a couple hours and then made out. I mean, that was the gay club was basically, a bunch of people playing Ultima Online and then going home. It was that people bringing consoles in and just playing shit. Yeah. Yep. That's just how it was, man. Ooh, GEEGA is chat's beard. So when our wives walk in on us, we can say we're watching women. So true. So true. You're so right, man. You're so right. GSA at your school got closed because the local cult threatened to burn school down. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, we had to take refugees from some other schools where some parent was going nuclear. And they were freaking the fuck out that there was a club with gay people in it in their school. So we actually had some people from other schools come to our club after school. they would go to our school instead so that it wouldn't be an issue in the other school. We just like straight up let them in. We were like, yep, cross school collaboration, here you go. Because it was just not possible. Not possible. Did you do theater? Absolutely. The crossover between those clubs was it was a Venn diagram that was practically a circle. It was scary. It was very scary how everyone did the same thing. I was absolutely in theater. That's why a lot of my friends were the people in the gay club, right? Because my interests always just kind of aligned with them folks in school, them theater kids. And that was it. That was it. Honorary theater. I mean, I was into theater. It was just, it was a circle. It was all a circle. I don't know. I used to do stage stuff. I used to act. It was fun. I liked it. But I also did like playing in the pit orchestra sometimes, or like if I didn't like the show as much and I didn't want like to go for a role, I would just play in the orchestra. And if they didn't have that, then I would do all sorts of stage stuff and be an extra. It was fun. It was fun. But if I didn't like the show that was being done, I wouldn't subject myself to listening to that same music every day 20 times, because sometimes it can get so grating when you're practicing that I would be like, I just wish to die. I don't want to hear the song for the 30th time. You know? Was anyone else friends with anyone and played varsity, so it was cool with them, but I also played with gamers too. There's no group I didn't really vibe with. I was kind of like that. I was in a lot of different clubs that were very, very different groups of people. I had friends I sat with at lunch, and each year it was like a wildly different group that I sat with. I don't know. I was chilling with everybody. I was chilling with everybody. I had friends that were into sports ball and nothing else. I had friends that I don't know, they didn't even have a category. I just knew everyone. I don't know, man. You mostly did technical theater when the New York Ballet came to your town and you got to work backstage. Oh yeah. I remember learning how programming the lights worked and getting to do that a few times as well. And I remember what I did was I didn't want to sit there and be the person actively running the lights the whole time. And we ended up getting a board where you could just program it ahead of time. So, you know, at first everything had to be done manually, but we got one where you actually could set it up. So you could set up an action and it would say, take these lights and dim them at this rate, you know, dim them from 100% to 20% over the span of 10 seconds, and then bring this up and add a delay of 1 second, then do this, blah, blah, blah. Very simple, like, set of actions. And I remember setting up entire shows like that and then writing on the script the cue to press the button. And I would say, here's step 1, here's step 2, blah, blah, blah. And then I would hand it to someone else, and they would be the person watching the show and pressing the button at the right time. But no one wanted to deal with the setup, so I used to do that. It wasn't hard, though. You don't need to be tech-oriented for that, I don't think. You just need to think stepwise and do it. But they would look at it and go, that looks confusing. We need a programmer to do this. And I would say, you really don't need a programmer to do that at all, actually. But they didn't want to deal with it, so I would set it up. Because I was one of the people who, if I was in the show or something, I knew the show well. So I would just, you know, go right ahead. It was fun. I liked doing stuff like that. It was really cool. It was one of those things I considered and said, I think I would actually enjoy doing this for real. But then I never went into it. I considered it. You liked being backstage, running the fly system, directing the cast around backstage? Yeah, stage management and stuff always seemed really fun. Always seemed really fun. I was more so, I would do a bit of everything, where I would some shows I would be in it as a main, so no way was I doing any management. And then some other shows, I didn't want to be in that show, but I still wanted to be in the theater club, you know, so I would just do stage management or whatever. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Theater's fun. Theater's really fun. Ooh, you did spotlights for one? There was one show where the person doing the lights, one of them got sick. So one guy had to hit buttons on the board that I, like, you know, set up for him. And then he would run to the spotlight. He would run, get up, and sprint to it and turn it on, hold it on the right person. And then while he was holding it with his left hand, he'd reach with his right to press the next button to do the next action at the right time. So we had the shakiest spotlights ever on this one show. I was like, man, can someone please go up there and help him? No one wanted to do it. They said, the room gets hot. The spotlights are so hot. And they didn't want to help him. I felt so bad for him, man. You're in these rooms with 2 spotlights, one on either side. And they get so bright and they're so powerful and they're so fucking warm. And no one wanted to be in that room. So they just refused to help this guy. And he was just solo running all the lights. And I couldn't go help him because I had to be in the pit orchestra in that show. So I said, man, you're fucked. You're fucked. Ugh. It looks like a lot of you did a little bit of that, lighting your stage crew shit. What was the motivation for joining so many clubs? I've always been very interested in everything. There are not many things that I have no interest in. So I wanted to learn about everything. And I liked doing stuff. When school ended, I would say, where can I go to do something? Is there something I can practice or learn or whatever? And I would find a club to wander into, and then I would just end up joining them half the time. But I did not want to just go home because, I mean, honestly, home was still fun because I liked reading. I had books to read. I had some video games to play, right? There was stuff like that. But there was more variety if I stayed at school and went to these clubs. So, you know. And I didn't have a lot of money, so if I wanted to do things outside of school, I would have to pay for them. And I did not. I didn't want to pay them for them. I couldn't. But if I was in school, there were a lot of free ways to get into things. So playing the cello, for example, if you try to do that privately outside of school, very expensive. But they have cellos you can practice on at school. So if you just stay after school and the teacher's still there and you want to practice, you can practice, you know. So until I ended up with my own cello, which I worked for a bajillion years from like 12 onward to be able to pay for, until that point, I didn't have my own, so I would stay behind and practice. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that I wanted to learn or do or get into, I just had to do through school because otherwise I would never get the chance to. So, if I wanted to do theater and I wanted to go out and do it somewhere else, I was not getting into some paid program. You have to pay for those. So there's no way. So a lot of the cool stuff that I did or learned how to do or whatever was either through clubs or through some sort of volunteer based thing where you volunteer your time and then in exchange get to learn something, get to do a thing. That was the only way for me. I don't know. I came from no money. You wear the fancy gloves to change the bulbs and the lights. I never got to do that part. A teacher would always do it. I wanted to do it. But I couldn't. It seemed cool. It was this huge bulb on the spotlights too. Huge. Having a little bit of an interest in everything hits hard though. So much to living. It's great. And I always felt weird for having that attitude towards things. Because I've always been I wouldn't say optimistic person. I'm definitely a realist, but I'm not a person who is easily depressed. I'm not a person who sees a lot of negative in things. I just find everything interesting and talk a lot about it. And if I say something that sounds really existential or blunt, I'm just talking about the reality of the situation. I'm not feeling negative about it usually. So I was just pretty happy, and I would run around and be like, I'm going to go to this club. I'm going to go to that club. There's so much to do. And at some point I realized that a lot of people around me didn't feel that way. And I always felt bad. But what can you do? I would try to tell people, get interested in something. Join this club. Just sit in the room and listen. Maybe you'll find an interest. I had some friends that obviously felt like really lost, which I think is very common in high school and, all that. But they would be like, nothing interests me. I feel so bored all the time. And I would go, have you tried? Here's something interesting. And I'd yap about it. And they'd be like, that sounds cool. And I would go, okay. Why don't you sit in to the club that talks about it? And they would go, nah. So I gave up. I gave up on so many of them. I would try to drag them in and be like, hey, I could bring you here. I could bring you there. So you get into this thing and they would go, oh, it sounds like work. Can't help you if you don't want to help yourself, No thanks. You're trying to be better about finding and taking advantage of free opportunities. There are a lot out there. There are a lot, man. Even though I didn't have, disposable income to do things with, I was able to do so much by just really researching hard how I could do things, be exposed to things for free. Obviously, if you live in a more densely populated area, there's way more of that. Way more. But if you don't, it can be tougher. So I was definitely advantaged in that way, right? 100%. But I took full advantage of it, of everything that was around me that was free. You didn't say number of weird jobs in your 20s? I did a lot of weird jobs and things. I did a lot when I was younger as well. Just random odd jobs because I really wanted to buy myself a cello, and I wanted to save up to pay for my own college. So, you know, I did what I could. I did what I could, and I ended up being able to do it because I worked through it. So it was doable. It was doable. But I was like, hey, if there's any cost that they say, oh, you have to cover this, I'm not going to be able to cover it unless I do it myself. You know what I mean? Ooh, you went to a town with 10K people this year. You're from one of the most populous cities in the world, so it's crazy different. I can't do it. I don't like areas with no population. I don't like it. To visit, I love it, but to live there, no. No. And it's not because I like people and want to live around people. It's because there's a lack of things. There are a lack of places to go. Every resource that you might want to get is further from every house, typically, on average. There are fewer options. You might have 1 or 2 grocery stores, whereas in a densely populated area, you have 10 within the same radius, right? More specific products become available because there's demand for these things. So I like that. I don't really like the part of, you know, having all the people around, but I am very willing to trade that. Very willing to trade that. So. You had to move out of the city because it was getting too expensive. Well, a lot of people are doing that, so a lot of areas outside of cities are more densely populated than they were and are a good middle ground. So I think that's not a bad option if you still like, you know, having all the options around you. But yeah, I'm not a fan. And I have lived in areas that are really small. It's not like I've never tried it. I've had to move multiple times, many times for work and be in different areas. And, you know, I've had the full experience and I'm good. Okay, I'm all right. I'm okay. It's not bad. You just have to drive like half an hour to do anything. Well, number 1, I'm not going to do that. I know myself. Number 2, to do anything, yes, but I feel like the variety is so much lower. So much lower. In most towns, in most suburbs, what can you do? Maybe there's a bowling alley, there's a movie theater, there's a mall somewhere within a big radius. A couple of small activity spaces might exist. Maybe some sports can be done. Most not casually, though. What else is there to do in your adult life? Go to a bar? I mean, I find that boring as fuck. I'm sorry. I don't like that. So, like, what do you do? What do you do? What is there to do if you walk outside and you get in a car and say, I'm going to go somewhere within 15 minutes? Right? There's food to eat. There are bars to go to. But for actual activities, it's probably a small number. I don't know. Not many unique things. And if you start going outside of that radius, if you just live near a bunch of not dense suburbs, you probably just find more movie theaters and more bowling alleys and whatever. It's not really that much. There are things to do, but, you know, libraries are cool. How many people go to the library, though? Even living in a really dense area, there are not a lot of people using the library. It doesn't work for most people. It kind of stinks. Do I like the library? Yes, but, you know. Walk around aimlessly and find something interesting. Yeah, but if you live in a suburb, you're going to walk around and look at houses. You know? So what is there? What is there to do? I don't know. You're realizing why you became a gamer? Yeah, that's why I like video games. Exactly. That's why so many people watch IRL streams, too. They tend to walk around places that are actually interesting half the time. So you can just sit from the comfort of your home and watch it and go, wow, that's cool, without leaving. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And speaking of video games, I want to play a game. It's time. We're opening the game. Because there's a new game out. And I want to try it. I don't know if I'll continue it or if I'll just play it off stream. We'll see how it plays. Depends on pacing. But at the very least, let's go here. At the very least, I want to play a bit of it. So let's do it. Let's do it. Next crossover, will we just hit 3 hours? And whenever I swap to a game, I don't care how many hours I talk until I feel like we've hit enough. And I try to swap when I hit an hour or an hour and a half mark. Or rather, a 30-minute mark. Keeps my VODs easy for me to pick through, you know what I mean? Nice and easy. Let me get my Switch set up. Here we go. Okay, let's turn off the BGM. Let's turn that off. Let's hope my capture card works. It hasn't not worked, but sometimes it fucks up. Sometimes it does. Here we go. Yee! Ta-da! Mario Luigi Brothership! So I've played everything in the series. And when I'm missing, like, a really, really, really lightweight RPG, something that plays really, really nicely, really quickly, these games or the Paper Mario series always do it for me. Always. Every time. What? Hold on. Oh, I'll delete something, all right. Let me do this. I have so many games that I'm not gonna reopen. There we go.